Jaws turn on camera.
Oh yeah, we're there, man.
What's up, Josh? By the way, hi.
What's going on?
How's it
Skylar?
going? How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Is it Skylar or Skylark?
It's Skylar. But
Skylark. That's fairly odd, parents. I'm not that old. Maybe I am that old.
ChipSkylark is my Discord name though, and
Nice.
it is for that reason. So I got you. Like I appreciate that you understood the reference.
90s Nick, 90s Disney Channel. I'm all about it.
Hell yeah.
You know, I got a little Nick at Night themed show coming out over the next couple of weeks. So I'm
really?
excited.
Did you watch any Kablam?
Kablam, yes, I did watch Kablam.
That's like one of my favorites that like never is on anymore.
Yeah, you know.
Wait, what, Josh? You have a
show coming because I have the Making America show, and I talk a lot about issues that can be a little heavy on the mind, heavy on the heart. So I wanted to have some lighter conversations.
Yeah.
So started a new show called Josh at Night. This themed after.
Oh, I saw that one. I saw the one with
there's an influencer,
the TikTok guy,
the Tucker Bros, and his bros, I should say.
They're brothers.
And so we're completely revamping it, man. Have some cool templates and some visuals that we're gonna release. It'll be mainly a YouTube thing. We'll have some micro on Instagram and everything else. But I'm excited for that one. Yeah, man.
How does that shake out of curiosity? Okay. Like, do you get any help making that content from the Vayner team? Or you're doing that almost all solo?
No, I in terms of help, I get the relationships. So the team that processes all my content, they're all former Vayner employees and interns.
Gotcha.
They basically spun off and help fill in the gaps.
I don't have to be
that
standing.
Vayner doesn't provide support in. So the ongoing support of Vayner Sports, I mean, it's a sports agency, right? So the ongoing support, the little things, helping develop the content, they have too many people to focus on everyone to do that. So this group that I work with, Grit Player Services, shout out to Jake and David and Jessica, they help me with all that stuff. So they're putting it together. They have, a whole roster of designers and things, and they do a great job. So I'm excited to share that with you when it's done. Should be hopefully sometime next week.
Hell yeah. That's cool. Let me see. Join us.
Where's my microphone? Here.
I mean, it sounds like you're on it.
No, I'm on my headset. Which broke, by the way. Very sad.
Which, by the way, nice. I'm surprised you continue to have Is that the Discord guy on your head?
No, it's just something a Dare bought for me.
Oh, okay.
It's just chills. I don't know. I don't see a reason to take it off.
No, I'm good. I'm good with it. Can you, Skylar, one thing on stream, can you move the chat box to like the bottom corner?
Here, just tell me if this is good for you. Right there.
Hold on, let my stream update. Fuck off, bro. As they say in England.
Yeah, there's not really a great spot for it, but I can try and put it in the
So let me
bottom.
shout out this to the I think
right here will work
out like a Canadian. Join us now on Twitch. I'm going to shout it out to the Discord.
What's up, Derek?
Yo,
Derek likes my headset.
I'll share it on my Instagram too.
Oh, sick. Yeah, it's
sure.
Koalatea_ENT. Here, do you want me to just send it to you in this Discord call, or what would be easiest?
I'll send it to you on Instagram. You want me to do that?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, sick. Thanks again for coming on, Josh.
What is the Twitch link? Oh, I guess you'll send it to me on Instagram.
Yeah. It's just twitch.tv/KO_ENT. Just pinged you with it.
Cool. Instagram.
Vinny has to go, but thanks for tuning, Vinny.
Cool.
Why do you make fun of British people all the time, says Lynx Devil. Really, the only reason we make fun of British people is because Lynx Potter exists. If it wasn't for Lynx Potter, we would never make fun of British people.
Bold.
Isn't that right, Anthony?
Nothing.
It's really in honor of Lynx
Potter.
Nothing
these kids like better than some free money. 31. Hey! Welcome, everybody! Woo!
Yeah.
Mooncake Puff. Is Mooncake Puff the dev?
No, Mooncake Puff.
Skylar?
No. He's just another Sound
Text
player.
I lost Skylar.
What?
Do you hear Skylar?
Oh.
No, I think he's connecting his mic, maybe. Getting it set up.
Josh knows what's up.
Okay.
I was plugging in my mic.
No, we can't hear you, Skylar.
Cool. Hold on.
No, we no hear you.
Stream
Bob the
can hear
Bellend.
me.
Oh no, in chat, everyone loves money. That's the true answer. Links.
Hello?
Down some free money. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Cool. Let me.
Hola, mi gente. What's up, Sam?
There we
It's gonna
go.
be a good
Now
podcast.
you guys can hear me.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let me turn this. Let me fix this clipping. Okay.
Josh is cooler than me and Skylar combined. It's like Dragon Ball when like they fuse, but like times 10. It's kind of a thing.
But
Josh,
as we
I
all know,
have to ask
0
you-
times any number is still 0, so doesn't work out too well.
Josh, what is your camera setup, man? It looks really
you
super
look
good.
so nice. What the hell?
I listen, let me post this real quick.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Let me post this real quick. So I don't know how many of my Instagram followers are on Twitch, but I'm on Twitch with the Koala gang, I'll say. The guys from Koala, I'm on Twitch. Swipe up to listen to this crazy conversation. This will be fun.
What's up, Sand Squid? Yeah, we're about to make you think about football in ways you never ever thought about it before.
Yeah, Josh, the kinds of topics that we've talked about on here range. Actually, our latest episode that we just posted was titled NFTs, Societal Aspirations, and Lunchables. So
Lunchables go hard, man.
It's true.
Hey,
true.
How did that conversation end up? We were talking about
It
how
ended
Lunchables was such the flex.
Yeah, and then you were saying you didn't like them because you had to bring like 4, and then you felt bad because you thought you felt like you were bragging by bringing so many, but really you were just hungry.
No, there's very little food in Lunchables.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear if Josh feels me on this one, man.
Oh, here, let me
put
get
a couple crackers and some like cheese and the little ham circles. You gotta sneak in, some zebra cakes and maybe an extra Capri Sun or something,
Oh, that's what's up.
Fill up. Yeah.
And that's why that's kind of the conundrum we had, right? I was telling him, well, Lunchables was a flex, you're like, ooh, damn, he's got Lunchables. But
what if you had the pizza Lunchable? That was like a hard flex as opposed to like the sandwich crackers.
I actually only a few times had the pizza one, to be honest. Was that the best one? Your opinion?
I mean, it just they made it seem like it was the best one on TV in the commercials. I mean, I don't know. I preferred the cracker sandwiches myself.
Just saw a trailer. Like a little Instagram short video? The guy, some rich dude saying, "Marketing, the only true American art form."
Now I have a real shirt on, right? Real
right. That's true.
So, Josh, are you good to record on your end, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I told Josh that we would just.
Are we just going to do Twitch VOD audio?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, okay. I can record too. I don't mind.
We can do that too. Skylar can make it sound all snazzy.
Yeah, then I can just do audio editing.
Oh, okay. So do I press record in the Discord, or do I?
No. You just need to use some external program on your PC to do it. If you don't have something, it's not a big deal. We can just use the Twitch audio.
Okay. I mean, I have a pretty good internet connection. I have,
it generally comes through okay. The big thing that like benefits is that I can make like the levels good, but it should be fine. We'll just
Anthony, I can control my levels here. Let me know if it gets too loud or too soft.
No, you seem good. I think everyone seems pretty good. Anthony, talk real quick.
Hey.
Now talk, Josh.
Hey.
Oh! Yep. There you go. That's what we always use to sound check that exact melody, right, Anthony? Really, you should sing one of your recent compositions.
Yeah, my brother just messaged me. My brother was like picking something up from my mom's dental office. You know, my mom is a dentist, right, Skylar?
Yes.
The way technically I like really met Josh was we were at a lunch in an intern program together, and somebody must have said my name. Oh, you know who I think it was Chewy, Skylar.
Oh, okay.
You know who Chewy is? Chewy was there too. We were at lunch and he said something Nicolosi. And Josh is sitting there, which by the way, man, we get to the table and I sit down with my plate, right? And I'll be honest, Josh, you sat down like a few chairs down and I did a double take. I'm like, he's fucking huge.
Oh, yeah. That was my college summer days, man. So that was when I was most jacked.
Dude, I was like I had been once, when Champ Bailey got traded to Colorado, to Denver, me and my friends had like, I don't know, like a running meme, like Champ Bailey was so cool and whatever the fuck. And one time we ran into him at King Soopers on accident. And I remember like, wow, he's a huge guy. Like, I don't know what I was, 17 at the time, 16 or 17. And I remember at the time I was like, he's the biggest person I've ever seen. I was like, he's huge, man.
Yeah, man. I call that my health insurance policy, man. That's
Anthony,
what it
can
took.
You give me
to not die in the field.
I'm gonna change the stream title.
Okay.
What do you want? What do you
want?
I don't know. What do you want it to be?
I
was just gonna say quality time with special guest, and then Josh.
Special guest Josh Martin.
Is it spelled as I would expect? You got any weird JAWSH or something going on?
No.
Nah, Josh. Yeah, it's all good.
Josh,
I seriously though, I think I'm going to message you later on Instagram, Josh, about your camera setup because it's so
it
good.
looks so nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did a lot of research, dude. And
Really?
I have a little crop sensor Sony A6000 series camera. And it's just the factory lens, and I got a couple lights behind me. I got the light here. I got the light
you
on the
got
ground.
that fancy setup.
I got the light. Yeah. So I got a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah, it looks like super legit.
Do you broadcast online a lot, like on webcam stuff? Is that why? Is
Yeah,
your podcast video?
Everything I do is video.
Okay.
So I have multiple interviews a week, and just wanted to look the part at the very least. If I don't make any money from the stuff that I do. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is how the hell I'm going to make a living after not playing football for 2 years essentially. So
sure.
Oh man, Josh is going to become. Hey, Josh is apparently a freak at Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
was
yeah.
Past tense, and freak, amateur freak. Not like honestly though, I feel like if professional gaming was what it is today, 15 years ago,
could have gone for it.
I mean, I could have won some amateur tournaments. I feel like I could have at least placed and been competitive.
Was this Xbox? What were you playing on?
This was Xbox.
Sick.
Halo Combat Evolved, and that was honestly the only game I played for a while until Call of Duty came out.
Nice.
Maybe some NCAA football.
Do you play anything now?
Oh, yeah, okay.
What?
I play Call of Duty with my little bros, and some of my homies around the country that I played college football with. But outside of that, I tried to get into Fortnite, and I just couldn't build fast enough and figure out all the shortcuts.
I got you.
So it didn't work out well for me.
Well, nice.
Right on. So, Skylar, do you want to play the intro? And we'll just we'll formally start. Skylar's going to play an intro.
You guys
you won't hear it, Josh.
Okay.
He'll just be dancing, and then he'll point at me, and then we'll roll.
I'll introduce this one just so that the timing's good, and then I'll just throw it to you.
Sounds good.
Forgot.
Water now. Hey, yo, I drank Discord stream. Yeah, we're also talking to the Twitch stream.
Oh yeah. Do you mind if I grab my water real quick?
Yeah, cool? Go for it.
No. Yeah, go for it. I've got my G Fuel. Guess what flavor it is? Stream. Yo, new Fort season, low key vibes. What?
Sansquid likes Fortnite,
but it's vibing. The new season's vibing. Orange, not orange. D pickles, not cotton candy blue.
Durian.
I would get a full
durian flavor. Dragon fruit. Rambutan.
I wish I did. That would be sweet. And you would gain 10 pounds. Cherry, no. Tell the famous dude to play Rocket League. I want to run twos.
PewDiePie.
There it is. Lincolnberry.
I got it.
Lincolnberry.
Do they sell it at IKEA? PewDiePie should make a deal with IKEA and sell it at IKEA.
Dude, the Lincolnberry jam is actually fucking awesome.
Oh, Lincolnberry jam is delicious, dude. It's very good.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well, hey, yo, we have, it's not water, Link's Devil. Josh has got that Space Jam stuff. You don't know what it is.
Stuff, man.
The space. Michael's special stuff or whatever.
Michael's special. Yeah, however Duck says it. How many giveaway winners? At least 3, Dante. Maybe more if you're good boys.
Yeah, I forgot we were doing. Yeah, we do some marbles. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
let's do it. Yeah, at the end of the stream, Josh, you can stick around if you want to. It's a lot of fun. But we do this thing where there's a game where you basically are just represented by a marble, and all the marbles randomly fall through a course, and then the top 3 winners we give prizes to.
It's like a virtual game that you see. Like
it's just an automatic thing. People type stuff in the Twitch chat, and it adds them to the game. And it's basically like a random number generator, right? It's there's no one's controlling anything. It's just everyone's a marble. They fall through a course randomly, and one wins. But it's way more exciting than just drawing a winner.
Okay, yeah, it's like the animations that they play at on the Jumbotron, the races.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that.
Games.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna play the intro now.
Okay. I'll be waiting for your point.
All right.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. Anthony and Skylar will take it from here. Master Chief, out.
set this up, man. Because I was telling Anthony Skylar I wanted to start a little Twitch stream with my little bro. My little bro Jacob plays for the Houston Texans, and he has a little fan following. He's better at football than I was. Just to be frank, it's true. It's fine. It's whatever. I like to think that I opened some doors for him.
There you go.
I think he'll admit to that. But we have a great time just messing around, man. On
we're happy to help you.
Shit.
I got a lot of experience with doing Twitch stuff, and Anthony now does too, so we could definitely help you set anything up you need.
100%.
Anyway, I'm gonna play the intro again because you rudely interrupted the song you couldn't hear. So,
oh, I did. Oh shit, my bad.
It's totally mine. It's totally mine. It's like 30 seconds long, so I'm gonna start it. You're gonna hear nothing, but trust 30 me,
seconds
something's
long.
happening.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear anyone talking. I was like, it's kind of awkward. Let me say something.
yeah, that's
I'll
why.
shut up. All right,
now it's happening again.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. Anthony and Skylar will take it from here. Master Chief, out.
Hello and welcome to Koalatea Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. I'm Skylar Sokol.
I'm Anthony Nicolosi.
And today we have special guest. What's your name?
Is that my turn to speak?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, man. Josh Martin.
Hell yeah.
Football player, NFLer, casual gamer, excellent lover. I'm kidding. I don't get great feedback after sex.
Right on,
Very
Josh.
good.
What's up?
That's how we like to start our podcast.
When we shouted out the podcast, I'll tell you, we got a few, I got a few messages on Instagram, like, how the fuck did you get that guy to come on your podcast? And I was like, well, look, I met Josh. It's technically college. It was like in an intern program. Mm-hmm. And it also turned out that my mom, who is a dentist, was Josh's dentist.
Wow.
So,
yes, for a very long time.
So you know all of his dental history in detail.
I could probably look it up.
You know what? I'm happy that you remembered how we actually met, because I could not remember. I forgot about the inroads program. I was like, I don't know how I know Anthony, but I know that I know him, and I'm happy to be on the show. I
told Brittany, my wife, one time, I was like, yep, me and Josh one time cleaned out this closet together. It's like part of inroads. We had to move a bunch of shit. It was like
build character.
You and one other guy. That's the only thing. That's about it. It was like
amazing.
But that right on, Josh. So yeah, you gave a quick overview, real quick. But you play in the NFL, but you also put out a bunch of content. You are let me see if I say this right. Are you how do you say it? Signed with Vayner Sports, partnered with Vayner Sports? How do you say that?
So Vayner Sports represents me as an athlete, and they help with secure sponsorship deals and things. They also have been a huge resource in helping me create the content that I do create, which I think we'll talk about.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yes. So for those who don't know, Vayner Sports is the sports agency. Maybe, I don't know if I can say it, tangentially related to, Gary Vee started it. I always talking about Gary Vee on my freaking
Anthony's obsessed
content.
with Gary Vee.
Oh yeah, Gary Vee, man. It's his sports agency. He founded it with his brother AJ, who was my agent, and they're crushing it, man. They have an e-games athlete on their roster, so
yeah, they have Booga.
Esports, excuse me. Let me. I feel old. E-games.
They have Booga, the Fortnite. I don't remember what year. Yeah, the Fortnite World Cup winner. He is signed with Vayner Sports. So, yes, right on, man. Tell us a little bit first about your gaming background. You told me already.
Yeah,
but
man.
What were some of the games you played growing up?
You know what? I started playing video games way back in the day. Super Nintendo. I would play Mortal Kombat with my dad. Actually, I had a chance to play some PS1 Mortal Kombat a couple weeks ago. Completely killed it, kicked ass, took names. But that was the beginning of my video game journey. Fast forward maybe about a decade, and I really got into Xbox 360. I remember when I cried when I got an Xbox 360. I got it for my 16th birthday, I believe.
You were so happy?
I was so happy. Because all my friends had an Xbox 360 and I didn't have one. I had to go to their house.
He wanted a PS3 and he was so pissed he just started crying on the spot.
Yeah, man. So I got into the NCAA football, then the first person shooters. So really big on Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, but also the original Xbox.
Nice.
Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox One.
Yeah,
first.
The actual Xbox One. Yeah, exactly.
So Halo Combat Evolved was my jam, man. As you know, that really fun experience just playing Halo back in the day.
I don't know if you
Right
noticed, but Anthony's literal like life obsession is Halo. So
I have like you can probably see here. There's like 2 Halo things here. There's 2 over there. There's 2. It's my favorite gaming franchise. Like so,
it's a good gaming franchise, man.
So I'm curious. What do you think about the video game adaptation of football? Like, what do you think about playing football in video game form rather than in person?
You know, I think it obviously has to be simplified. Because when I play football, I play as an individual within a larger team. When you're playing a video game, you're controlling everyone on the field. So it's really a different game. But if you understand the basic concepts of coverage and blitz packages and formations and what teams can do out of different things, it's definitely a big help. So the football knowledge and background definitely helps with those games, but it doesn't make you a good football gamer per se, if that makes sense.
Now, I'm interested because, like, I've thought about this before, and this has never been made before, but it would be pretty easy in modern technology to make a football game where individuals controlled every single member of the team, and it was like a first-person game, right?
Like
that would be wild.
Multiplayer,
right? Like, because that'd be so easy. We have like 100-person battle royales, right? Why not? I mean, I guess the hard part, right, is designing gameplay for each position that is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make playing like a linebacker interesting in a video game? Like, I understand why it's interesting in person, but it would be hard to make that fun with a controller or whatever.
I mean, even with when you think about all the different positions, like you really would have to specialize in a single position. I feel like in order to like be really good and have some success.
No, it could be an interesting concept, right?
We have virtual football leagues. That would be hilarious.
Right.
That would be awesome. We could start a virtual NFL.
We could have had NFL during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. We could. That kind of rolls into something that kind of rolls into esports, right? Like, what do you think about like the rise of esports? You know, especially in relation to real sports. Do you, yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, do you see it as like esports is like this thing trying to take away your sports, like sports' glory, or like how do you see esports and sports, and how do they pair together?
Esports is great, right? I was talking to Anthony about this. If you can do something that you enjoy for a living, it's competitive in nature, it's productive, it provides entertainment. There is an extreme level of skill involved in terms of hand-eye coordination, reaction speed. There's a lot of talent and technique and skill, like I said, that goes into esports. I don't feel threatened by it. I don't think physical sports feel threatened by it in any real way. They're different, but if anything, they're complementary, right? There's an NFL video game, right? I think as long as those things exist and there's real competitions with real money involved, and like I said, if anything, it elevates. They play off one another.
Yeah, it's true. Like the competition between the two could make both of them better in the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just don't. There's no. You have the sports games, you have the first-person shooters, you have the role-playing games. There will always be physical sports. Knock on wood. I think physical activity is just such a large part of the human experience. Being able to feel and touch physical things. Esports only adds to that, right? It just takes it into that virtual space, which we see with the NFTs and I guess the conversation you guys had.
The NFT.
It's true.
That was the most impromptu, unprepared.
That was not our planned podcast. We just talked about it. It ended up lasting like an hour, and then I was like, I really don't want to do a podcast now. Can we just make that the podcast? And Anthony's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, that's an interesting topic. Maybe we'll circle back to NFTs later. I have you spent any time thinking about NFTs? I know Gary Vee, right?
Listen, they're major on NFTs. I mean, we have our own Discord with the Vayner Sports athletes, and in terms of different business endeavors, we have a whole NFT channel. So, am I deep in NFTs? Have I invested in any NFTs? No, but I have some cryptocurrency, some Ethereum, some Bitcoin, and just waiting to bide my time.
See what's up.
Yeah, see what's up. I think I'm slowly getting involved. It's been a part of the conversation, I've had with my kind of money people that help me make those types of decisions. It's clearly there's some opportunity there, so it makes sense to get involved. But in a way that makes sense. You have to be strategic. It's not something that you can just throw money into and hope for the best.
I feel like that's a lot of what's happening.
$600,000 on Nyancat,
right? Yeah, you don't want to buy your favorite meme for like $1 million.
Yeah, you know what? I think there's some real opportunities for investment with some of these early NFTs. If you see like there's the right adoption and the trends, that's the biggest thing. I actually just had a conversation about crypto art and NFTs last week. And my thesis, I'm going to talk like Gary Vee now. My thesis is that NFTs, he actually tweeted maybe a week or so ago that 99% of investments in NFTs are bogus. You're going to lose. And in order to play that game, you have to be playing with a lot of money in order to win. Yep. I think the biggest value that NFTs create isn't for consumers, it's for creators.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was talking to Anthony about this too. Like, I think there are a lot of things I think are really silly about at least the current NFT landscape where like you're literally selling something that you can copy the digital bytes directly. Like it's not like a piece of art that was actually painted, right? It's like the same file. But I actually saw a tweet by Mark Cuban where he was talking about how like in the future you could use NFTs to like manage IP, like intellectual property.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that seems like such a cool landscape for NFTs.
I mean, when you think of a deed for a house, that's what an NFT is.
Right.
It just proves your ownership of any particular thing. So any asset, anything you can purchase in today's economy can be represented, at least its ownership can be represented by an NFT.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is extremely powerful.
Anyway, let's not have another podcast on NFTs. I want to hear. I want to hear. Do you want to tell us a little bit about like the content you're producing?
Yeah, man. So I started really getting into content. Go figure. When I signed on with Vayner Sports, one of the first conversations I had was with AJ Vaynerchuk, Gary's little bro, and he asked me, hey, would you mind having a camera follow you around? And for anyone who's not familiar with Gary Vee, his whole thing with creating content is document, don't create. So I joined them for a reason because I wanted to establish a footprint off the field and kind of dabble in that space. And that's where it began. I started a little vlog series. You can check out on my YouTube channel, Josh Martin 95. And, I was visiting restaurants around the city. I made chicken and waffles in different restaurants. Pizza.
They're fucking good, man.
Chicken and waffles are delicious.
No, but your food, just a quick side plug. Josh's fucking food content is outstanding. That's the few things I actually like bother you about on Instagram. Is like, holy fuck, that pizza looks good, dude.
Oh man,
yeah, man. So I'm into cooking. I actually just picked up a neon sign. I'm opening a cafe.
Really?
Yo,
yeah, it's called Cafe Martin. It's in my kitchen in my apartment.
Okay.
But I think I'm really buying into this kind of home chef.
What's the specialty dish of your cafe?
Cafe bacon and eggs.
A
I gotta keep it simple. I really do like chicken thighs, and I make a really good crispy skinned salmon. I like to think that I do.
Nice.
Honey soy garlic sauce, maybe on a bed of rice, potatoes.
Oh shit.
You name it. I try to dabble in whatever looks good to me, and it's an experiment. All my food doesn't turn out good, but
I feel you on that.
It turns out good enough for me.
Yeah, I'm more of a find a random weird obscure foreign dish and try and cook it kind of cook. So definitely I come out with things that taste so bad sometimes.
Do you own a wok?
Yeah. I wok cooking and stir frying is like my favorite method of cooking. So
yeah, man, I feel you. I mean, I feel like half of the battle is just having the right materials.
Definitely. I actually really want to get an outdoor wok burner. I don't know if you know about those, but like, because in like actual Chinese wok restaurants, they have like huge fire, right? Because you want fire like right on the center of the bottom of the wok, so you don't want to do it on a stove. So you can get like outdoor burners that like replicate that environment. But I have an apartment, and I don't think they would like that on my balcony.
Yeah, they don't like open flames in my apartment.
No.
That would be cool, man. I'd be listen, I love to cook. I love to eat, which is why I love to cook. And I just try anything that I make. I try to make it good. Obviously, the best meals that I make are when I think to myself, "Oh wow, that was pretty good, Josh. Like you did something there." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I would pay for this at a restaurant if I didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's cool. That's my goal at the end of any dish that I.
And it probably costs you way less than you would have paid at a restaurant for it too.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. You get some deals, but food it's expensive up here. But I love it. The people are great. City's awesome.
That's
Shit,
great.
Josh, you won't remember this, but when we were cleaning, so I have a fucking weird memory. Sometimes I remember things like extremely well. Sometimes I remember things that should be easy to remember. I don't remember them at all. But I remember we were cleaning that closet. I think it was because I was about to go to New York, and you said something about like, if you don't know what you're doing in New York, you're gonna pay fucking $22 for a shitty ass burger. And I went to New York, and holy shit, man, it's so true.
Yeah, man, you got to do your research because there's so many bogus food places. There's a ton of great food places, but there's some places where it's like that money would have been better spent making the burger yourself. And so I think that's everything. So I'm big on the food review, the Yelp, the Eater, New York. I like to do my research before I have any meal. I'm big on references as well, but only references from people who I know have similar taste as myself, that know basically people that know what good food tastes like, that I can trust. No, and good food doesn't mean expensive. Let me be clear. Good food, I get street tacos, $3 for a taco off of a taco truck. Best taco I've had in my life.
Yeah. No, that's totally true. I'm also a big food research fan as well. Like, I won't go to a place unless I am relatively confident going in that it's going to be good.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? If you're going to spend your money, you want it to be like something worthwhile.
True.
You work hard for the money,
Anthony's a go to PF Chang's every time kind of food guy.
PF Chang's in Park Meadows, for whatever particular reason's a fucking step up, okay? Like, it's so good.
It's so good that you don't trust that any other restaurant will be as good as it. Right?
I don't know, dude. I have like this mental problem, of like, if I only have, a window of if the window of opportunity to experience a date with Brittany is not consistent or it's rare, I want to make sure we do something I like. I don't want to go someplace where, dude, this happens to me all the time when I like go to places with other people who choose the restaurant. I go there, they serve the meal. I'm like, this is the fucking size of an appetizer, man. I have to buy 3 of these to have the meal. It's not particularly tasty. Like, and so, I blew it, man. I blew the opportunity.
Well, that's a big factor when you look at a restaurant review. Even my experience at different restaurants, how consistent is the good experience?
Yeah.
Having a reliable restaurant, you know what you're going to get. You enjoy the meal. That is everything. So I respect the PF Chang's. It's like I could never see myself not eating Chipotle.
Sure.
Chipotle. You know what you're gonna get. Typically, all the guac isn't the same. Sometimes they go half-assed with the guacamole. There's large chunks of avocado, but for the most part, it's nice to have your staples in your restaurant selection.
Their queso is also a little questionable.
Yeah, the queso's a reach. I'm not a queso.
Actually, Chipotle recently went in on Valorant streamers. They've sponsored a bunch of Valorant streamers to advertise their new quesadilla delivery. And Hiko today on Twitch was giving away 1,000 free quesadillas with a code and shit.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Their quesadillas are good though. They have solid quesadillas.
Yeah. This is your play, Josh. Start streaming Valorant. You can play with Skylar. He plays Valorant.
Yeah.
Now, what is Valorant? That's the first-person shooter
game?
It's
a tactical FPS like Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I play some is Counter-Strike, or is that Rainbow Six or something?
Sort of, yeah. Sort of
similar. It's more Rainbow Six, right, Skylar? Would you say it's more Rainbow Six than it is COD?
Much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I died a lot in Rainbow Six. I'm not a really big strategy. I'm more of running gun.
I think Josh is kind of like me.
Josh and Anthony. Yeah, I mean that's why you're the Halo boys, right? And I'm over here playing Valorant.
Right. Okay, but Josh does food content, but Josh does more than food content. Yes.
Yeah, so I have my food content. Thanks for getting us back on track, Anthony. That was really good. You've done this before, man. I'm taking some notes, because I host interviews as well. So beyond my food content, what else have I done? I had a podcast that I did for a while, Journey for More. You can see the sign in the background. Where I basically use that as an excuse to talk to cool people. And I think the most interesting guest, beyond some of my teammates and some really cool entrepreneurs and friends, was Anthony Bourdain's director of photography, Todd Liebler. So he was able to provide some insight on some of his experiences traveling around the world with Anthony Bourdain, which is really awesome. And after that, in the vlogging, I really wanted to get serious with my content in terms of making it a little bit more than entertainment. And so that's where the Making America project comes into play that we've discussed. And essentially, it was a way for me to leverage my platform to make a difference without really knowing how to make a difference. So that's the whole premise. Was I have conversations with different community leaders in their cities and across the country. We talked about issues like gentrification, immigration, race, immigration. I said immigration twice. Climate change, and some other cool stuff, man. Things that are important and relevant to today's conversations when you look at the kind of socio-political environment that we live in.
Well, and the thing I'll add to that is that in every episode I've ever watched, including the latest one, oh fuck, I'm gonna forget her name. Jeanette. I can't remember. She was the department, like DHS under the Obama administration.
Juliet.
Yeah,
she was great.
Like in every episode I watch, I get like facts, like data.
There's a lot of facts. Yeah. So that's, we were talking about this too, Anthony. That's something that I'm looking to change a bit. I think facts are important. And that's something I've always said to myself when I approach the content with Making America. I don't want people to come on the show to get someone's opinion without it being informed by the facts that we can all agree upon. So I was going really fact heavy. I think now as we, the content has been out there, we shot this over 2 years ago. The goal is to tell more human interest stories. What's the experience as it relates to these different issues? And I think that'll be a bit more impactful in a way. It could be informative and entertaining, and socially conscious and responsible, and hopefully make a difference, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is your real impact goal with this content? What do you hope to have happen?
It's really, I've had a lot of conversations. I didn't even let you finish your question, Skylar.
That was my question. You got it.
Okay,
you do. You understood.
I'm a terrible guest. It's really, I'm taking this from a friend, a former classmate of mine. Her name's Beverly Leon. She runs an organization called Local Civics that is working to redefine civic engagement in her unique way, specifically with like grade school age students. I'm looking to do the same thing, essentially. Get people involved and empower people in their understanding that they can have an impact on their lives and an impact on their communities. As long, by knowing what to do. So that's the goal, to get people more civically engaged, particularly the Gen Z millennial demographic, with information, accurate information, factual information. So that's the end goal.
That's awesome. I think that a lot of people in like this like huge democracy we live in, right, end up feeling like their impact is very small, right, and that they don't have that much power to make change. But at a local level, people have a ton of power to make change, and I don't think they realize that.
Of power, and understanding that power in a democracy is all about organizing. Totally. When you think of the collective, it's very team focused. A lot of my beliefs as it relates to Making America and how we do that, because I do believe it's an ongoing process. And in order for us to create the country that we want to be a part of, it's understanding the power of teams and working together. So that's a huge element of it as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And that's double, triple interesting, Josh, when it rolls into something me and Skylar have had
Great segue.
Fuck ton of conversations about. Because so Skylar and I met through our job, for what it's worth. In fact, some people watching the stream might not even know that. Me and Skylar work our current gig right now is we work full-time jobs as software engineers, and then part-time we run the studio, hopefully with the goal of one day of supplanting that, and making the transition over. But anyway, when we pre-COVID, when we were working at the office, every now and then we take breaks and just talk about game stuff or whatever, take a walk or whatever. And one that we would fuck ton of philosophical deep dives, but one thing in particular that I keep coming back to that I hope one day we have the opportunity to execute is this idea of maybe actually making a game that could, the way I explained it to Skylar, we talked about, was like, so much in life is given to you at the beginning without any of your input, right? What era of time you were born to, what family you were born in, what it's like environment, culture, all that. You have no say on that. You're born into that, and that in itself, like, if you will, the setting, who you are, so even to the point of like the hardware configuration, how your brain, we've read all these books of like, some people are more optimistic, some people more maybe pessimistic or whatever the fuck, or just are inclined maybe more to that, blah blah blah. Your biology, if you will, your environment, plus the experiences you go through and sort of the tools you have to deal with it at the time, sort of all kind of holistically form you, right? And as you move, and your perspective on the world and whatever. And one thing we always talked about is like, shit, man, if you were, it's easy sometimes to see another person and be like, man, like, whatever, I don't get it. You know, like, I can't, how could this person act this way or have this, whatever. But if you really could like go through that process, you know, if you were them in that setting with those influences or whatever, that stuff seems so much more, makes so much more sense why someone may be afraid of the things they're afraid of, feel strongly about the things they feel strongly about, you know, not understand the things they don't understand. And this tying into the notion of listening, like being empathy, you know, Gary Vee talks all this a fuck ton about empathy, right?
Empathy. I was about to say, man, that's Gary Vee's thing.
Yeah.
Being empathetic, like, and that games, I would say that we've talked about before, and Sky, I'll let you roll in here, is has a unique is unique in the various forms of media that are available to people. Like if you compare it to books, TVs, or whatever, in that like you are the character, right, in the game. It's not like you're connecting with the character maybe tangentially, maybe very directly because of whatever reason. It's like you are that character, right?
Yeah, it provides you with this immersive experience so that like you can actually experience what's happening to the character, unlike a movie where you may feel immersed in a movie, but you're not like controlling the decisions that are being made. So it's like a really unique opportunity to potentially have someone experience someone else's perspective in an almost direct way.
Yeah, I mean, that would be extremely powerful. I think when a big part of the first go around with Making America was about having conversations with the idea of understanding the different experiences and perspectives of individuals, and really how those experiences inform everything that they are. And a lot of that is a lot of it's very subconscious. These aren't intentional decisions that people are making. Anthony spoke to it. We're born into situations that we have no control over. So when you're able to understand that, and both sides are willing to understand it makes the conversations and it humanizes everyone. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, and I think Anthony and I have talked about this before. I think a lot of people can potentially go through their whole lives without ever like thinking about their own thoughts. They're always on like level one of just like having their thoughts and living their life, right? Which is fine. But I think to like truly like listen to people and get perspectives, you have to be willing to like critically analyze your own thinking, right? And
yeah,
I think that's something that I would love to like encourage more people to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, Gary Vee, he talks about that self-awareness. Anyone that follows him, I think I'm not a huge Gary Vee disciple in the traditional sense, but he speaks a lot of truth, and I think when you're able to have that kind of self-reflection and begin to understand why you are the way you are, that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Sorry, were you gonna say something?
Oh, you just mentioned earlier, I think that this like relates directly to what you were saying earlier, that one of your friends was trying to help grade school children like be more aware and educated and stuff like that, right? And I think that that's like, for me, a huge part of like an issue in our society right now is that just like the like self-education, like teaching people to be aware of themselves and like critical of themselves and thinking about their thoughts doesn't happen until people are like adults, and usually they have some traumatic experience that like makes them decide to like finally think about stuff, right? It's like we use trauma only when people have trauma do they like decide to think about their mental health, and otherwise it's sort of just like an afterthought, right? And I think if we move that education to younger kids to like teach people when they're young, then that could alleviate that a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, it should be proactive and it should be intentional. And I think the work that my classmate is doing is, you know, her language, she gamifies civic engagement.
That's really interesting.
You know, to make it attractive to the sort of younger demographic. And, you know, I think she's doing a great job. And I've actually been on a couple of some of her content. We've done some content together. So Yeah, I'm always happy to support other people doing good work.
Nice.
Well, let me ask you, because games, in my opinion, I think statistically data shows and everything, like, take up an increasingly larger amount of brain time for youth across the country, right? Like, kids are playing more games than they were before, for a variety of reasons. The games are getting better, quite frankly. The accessibility of games has increased, whatever, right? Like the barrier of entry, if you will, has gone down.
I think public opinion of games has changed as well, so that they're more accepted than 10, 20 years ago, right?
So this conversation is touching on it because of these facts, right? With this trend in place, and with the literally what you guys were just talking about, the responsibility of being sort of proactive in encouraging sort of this internal reflection or whatever, just among many other things that we've discussed. What responsibilities do you think that game developers and publishers have regarding the stories or structures they set up in games? Because not all games have stories per se. Some are just multiplayer, but then I think there are different ways you can encourage community building and foster that too, right? So I don't know. Have you thought about that at all? Like, what responsibilities does the gaming industry have for the youth as we move forward too?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, anyone who's creating a piece of media that is widely disseminated across a large population has a tremendous responsibility, because you have a tremendous amount of influence on this group of people. And I think at the end of the day, when you look at, I'm not an economist by any measure, basic understanding of the economy and capitalism, supply and demand. People want to see things that reflect themselves, their reality, and the reality and the perceptions are changing. And I think part of that culture is driven by these creators, but also what people want. People, especially over the past year, you talk about diversity and inclusion and things like that. You see these characters in video games that have always been, to some degree, more imaginative and diverse. When you look at certain characters across universes and planets, and even dating back to Star Wars, I feel like it's always been a part of the culture, because there's always been this sense of other, right, as a gamer.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's a different understanding of what it means to be an other and have that experience. But to answer your question, there's a huge responsibility, and I think everything is trending that way towards the marketing campaigns of different companies and other industries. So I think it's the industry's well poised to have a positive impact if they take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I think some games are already pushing for that and doing a lot to support that, for sure. And you're right. It's such a powerful platform. As we said before, when you have someone have an experience in a game like that, I think that could actually have the potential to change their mind about a deeply rooted issue if the experience is potent enough, right? So the power you have in a game is really a lot.
Yeah, no, I've read that novels help increase empathy. There has to be a similar impact in video games, which I would imagine can be a tad bit immersive. They're more immersive than
right.
Text on a page, I would think.
Yeah. Especially if we get into the VR world and stuff like that, then.
Oh yeah, that's next level.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you have the ability to sort of autonomously, I don't know, not autonomously execute sounds like such a boardroom marketing PR term,
right
but
there.
Yeah, you have the ability to act in the world, and those actions are yours. I don't know, it's a little different than the thing I think that games have going for them, right, is that, I don't know, if you what I'm going to circle around to, and sorry, look at my hand. My hand
on your dexterity. Is that for gaming? Is that what that is?
This is for it came with my squeeze ball, stress
an
ball,
anti-squeeze ball. It's like a reverse squeeze ball.
Yeah,
you feeling stressed, man? You feeling stressed? You okay?
No, you know what happens is that I fucking chew on stuff. So I will chew on things I don't need to. So I just got this set.
Got some fidget stuff. Yeah, nice.
Okay. I feel you. Good for you, also, man. That's more productive than chewing on stuff.
Definitely.
I think I'm just also kind of crazy. Yeah, my mom will fucking kill me if I break my tooth. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, if in my opinion, when I don't know, when you are games have a unique aspect to them. I think this overlaps with sports actually, in that the fun of sports itself can like it can break down maybe or reduce the friction of entry into the experience, because like the sport is fun. And yeah, maybe you're going to play it with like that douchebag kid from school, like he's on your team, right? But like the sport is fun, and you can like kind of, and maybe in the event of like playing together, you even kind of like bond a little bit or whatever. Like the intrinsic enjoyment of the sport gets you in the door. Even if maybe the people you're playing with or whatever are not like the kinds of people you usually associate yourself with or whatever the heck, or in the case of a game, like maybe the game looks fun and like the content of the story is not necessarily what you'd be like going for in a, like that you're looking for in a game, but the game is fun. So like the funness for the monkey brain gets you in the door. And then once you're in the door, you have an opportunity to potentially experience something that can help you like reflect on something you wouldn't reflect on otherwise or whatever.
Yeah, I'll say at a really simple level also, just like what you were saying with sports, getting people involved with people they may not normally interact with, which is valuable too, right? Games do that so much, right? You're playing an online game. I've met so many people from like around the world playing games who I would have never talked to and like learned about like other cultures just through meeting people in video games, right? That you would have never had the opportunity to do if I didn't play video games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I played football. That's what began my football career. And I was interested in the sport, but my family moved across the town, and I didn't have any friends at the high school that I was going to. So I played football to make friends. And when you think about this idea of community, the sense of belonging, that's something that football and video games have in common. They bring people together over joy or love of the sport. And at the end of the day, you might be very different from one of your teammates or someone that you're playing with, but you do have that one thing in common that you share in that playing experience.
Yeah.
Yep. All right on, Josh. I am running out of the questions I wanted to ask Josh. Skylar, are there anything on the? I have one. I'm interested to ask.
Go
Josh,
for yours, and I will form the wording of mine.
I actually think it kind of rolls in kind of nicely here, Josh. These are my skills, my podcast
segueing skills. And when he points it out, it becomes even better.
Have you ever thought about changes to the actual game of football that would make it more fun? For example, you played at the end. You were playing linebacker, right? Were you always playing linebacker? I wanted to say you were a defensive end at some point, right? Was that in college?
I was a defensive end in college. My last year of high school. I also played offensive tackle senior year. I played wide receiver when I was in high school. I played safety when I was in high school. Are there any changes that I think could be made to the game of football that would make it more fun?
Yeah, like, were you ever like while the offense was driving down the field, you're sitting there and you're like, you know what? Fourth down is fucking boring as fuck. Instead of how they do it now, they should just get the two strongest dudes on the field, and whoever fucking wrestles and wins, that team gets possession of the ball,
Yeah. I mean, there's some elements that you see in other football leagues. I think the XFL, instead of a coin toss, they had like a 10-yard sprint to the ball. And whoever got the ball got the ball. You had to get the ball in order to. Yeah, I think there's certain elements that you could add to the game that would make it more fun. There's an important distinction to make it more fun to watch or more fun to play.
It's true. I'm always a more fun to play kind of guy when I think about the design of games. But watchability is obviously important for like the football industry, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you have both?
No, I think something like that. Listen, when you raise the level of physicality in a game,
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing for the viewer. But when I think of what would make football more fun, my first thought is, if they could limit injuries.
Yeah.
I could run into like that would be way more fun.
The football player life expectancy wasn't like significantly lower than average people. That would be great. Yeah. I think.
Listen, my first thought when it's like I can't remember something is like, how did me and Anthony meet? It's like, fuck.
It's like that got tackled out of me 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's like I forget, man. You run into enough people, and you start to question your mind and your brain, and then I tore my shoulder a couple years ago. That's for real, man. The shit was out of its socket. just hanging there and just like,
yeah. I guess does the
it wasn't very fun. It wasn't very fun.
Does the physicality of football, like I think that's a novelty that a lot of people who go into playing football are like excited for, right? But does that sort of get old after a while? Like the fact that it's so physical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to me, some people love the physical. I was a very physical player.
Sure.
You can dial up. I was a linebacker.
You have a physical position.
Yeah, so I think it's something that you have to embrace to be successful in the game.
Of course.
I don't consider myself a violent person, which is, it sounds funny to say out loud. But I think that's a tough question because there's part of me that enjoys the physical challenge. You lined up from someone who's going to win, who's going to be more physical, who prepared more. Part of that is mental.
Right.
Part of that is physical, and kind of the unique combination of both challenges is what was most appealing to me. So I can't say that I was completely turned off by the physicality. Obviously, I played in the NFL for a number of years, so it's something that was appealing to me. But at the end of the day, I pay for it.
Sure.
A few surgeries later, a few concussions, and maybe some lost memories. Not really sure if they're completely due to football, but you pay for that shit. Like they get it out of you.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like you talk about the mental aspect, right? I mean, there's a reason you decided to like play football instead of chess, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to make friends.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that's true. You're not gonna make many friends playing chess. I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean you can, but I think there's something that's it's pretty intimate about football when you're doing a team workout and half the team is passed out, puking, like. There's maybe it's some kind of trauma bonding, but it's just like there's a vulnerability. It's like, all right, man, we're in this together type of deal, which I think is really powerful. And to be fair, I was born in Houston, Texas, so Texas and football are practically synonymous, and I didn't get a chance to play until my high school year. So I'd always wanted to play, and it turned out I had the opportunity to play in high school, and I did. I took it.
Nice. Yeah. I guess it has a little bit to do with upbringing and circumstance too that could have brought you to football.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And my mom, she wasn't really a big fan of football. My parents were really supportive in the sense that they wanted me to be happy. They wanted me to do something that I enjoy, and they wanted me to be secure in ways that they maybe weren't. And so I've been able to achieve that. They were huge supporters of me in pursuing my dreams, whether they be academic or athletic. And so that goes a long way too. That's definitely part of the environment that I grew up in.
That's really interesting. All right, I have a complicated question for you, but
okay.
if I can ask it correctly, I'm very curious for what your answer is. Anthony and I had a whole podcast, or a large part of a podcast, where I argued that there was a problem with the like game design of a lot of sports, and that was that. Like, for example, the best examples are, in my opinion, basketball and soccer, is that there are rules in place in those games that encourage people to attempt to like break the rules in a like roundabout way to gain an advantage. Like for like fouling in basketball, originally, obviously the rules about fouling were there to prevent people from getting hurt, to prevent people from like doing something that could really like damage another person. But that's sort of evolved now to where fouling is a part of the strategy in basketball. And same thing with soccer, right? Like soccer's penalties are such an advantage that people literally like fake getting getting tackled in soccer in order to get a penalty because it's so valuable to get one. Like, and that,
and in football, for what it's just to add the football one, like pass interferences, you always see them trying to move people over. Like, actually, I'd be interested in what you like, the offside kind of thing, like right at the beginning.
Yeah, you got to get people to jump off sides. I would be the person that they would try to get, to jump off
right,
sides.
Exactly.
There's so many. So are you asking if it's a flaw in the video game or the game itself?
Just like, what do you think about that as far as like the design of the game? Like, is that good for the game? The fact that like people want to try and basically get people to break the rules to gain an advantage rather than just play like what the pure game is, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I think when it comes to winning, and the rules are the rules for a reason. They're at the end of the day, they're creating a product that they're trying to sell to however many millions of people that watch the games. And my first thought is, you look at one of the good examples. There's a rule change where if you were backed up, I don't want to get too technical in football.
It's okay.
One of the first thoughts, I don't want to get too technical in football, but there's some opportunities to, bend the rules. And someone who's notorious for that is Bill Belichick. Most people know who Bill Belichick is, the head coach for the Patriots. They would use the rules. They would know how where the referees would be looking, how the referees handled, exchanges or pauses in play. And they would essentially, they changed this rule. Bill Belichick, in order to cause confusion with the other team, the refs gave the team a certain amount of time to make substitutions on the field.
Okay.
So one of those, I think we mentioned fourth down maybe earlier in this conversation.
Yeah.
One of those times was fourth down. Are you going to punt the ball or are you going to go for it?
Right.
So there's two different units that would be on the field for the defense, the team that would receive the ball based on the indicators of the offense. The only indication from the offense that you have, the people with the ball that you have, is the people that they have on the field.
Interesting.
So Bill Belichick would have their punt unit on the field, and then very quickly, the punt unit doesn't have their starting quarterback. It doesn't have their starting offensive line. It's people that look like me that are blocking to go cover, kick, and make a tackle after the punter punts the ball.
Right.
He would then, in a coordinated effort, run the punt team off and run the offense on. So then you have the mismatches of
and then the other team wouldn't have time to react, or how would that work?
And then as a defense, you wouldn't have time to make a substitution.
Wow. Right.
So
what do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, so what ended up happening, it changed the way that defenses play the game. So if there's a down and distance on fourth down, say it's fourth and short, for example, you have a special punt unit that you put out in anticipation that they could potentially run their offense. So you'd have more defensive type players as opposed to special team type players. So there's ways that people have bent the rules and the way things have, sort of managed in the game to their advantage. And I think if anything, it adds to the game. Those are things that people don't think about when you watch, but in terms of being a player and understanding the game and a true fan of the game, those things are really, to me, I think they add to the game. It's just another level of complexity. It's like, what would the equivalent be in video games? Spawn camping. So you figure out where the team spawns and you just camp it. Like you win the game. Like what's the point of the game? Are you winning? If that's the way you're playing the game, you find out where the other team is responding. Good for you.
So you think it's like another...
I'm not a spawn camper, though. That's bullshit.
Good. You think it's another, interesting layer, though? You think it's like a layer on top of the existing strategy that is interesting?
Absolutely. It becomes a part of the strategy. There's like a... Yeah, absolutely. It's not just getting the ball in the end zone. It's like, how do you do that? And there's ways to manipulate the game in order to make it maybe a little easier and more difficult.
So in the world of video games, things like this happen sometimes, right? People find exploits that go beyond what the game was intended, and frequently those will get patched out. Sometimes they'll be kept at there's two worlds, right? Either they're just immediately removed, or they become a thing that everyone has to know, right? And I don't know, I think there's arguments for both options, right? Because they could have made a change to football with the Bill Belichick stuff, where they basically the offense had to tell the defense which players were going to be on, right? And they could have done that, and that could have been the removing the exploit thing. But it sounds like instead people just adapted to this new
that particular
meta
to your
game.
Point, there's rule changes every year based on the experience of teams and players and coaches from the previous year. So to your, some rules they change, some rules they leave in place. They might make some minor adjustments. There's a lot of rule changes that they've made for safety in terms of kickoffs and onside kicks and things like that. So it's really about, like I said, at the end of the day, they're selling a product. So what's gonna keep that product as valuable as possible? And my first thought of these games, some of these glitches, I remember on Modern Warfare 2 back in 2013, I forget what map it was, but there was this glitch where you could essentially you'd be on the map, but you wouldn't be visible on the map. It's like you're shooting from the sky or something. And that shit is whack, man. I would never know how to do it, and YouTube wasn't heavy like that where you could find everything you needed to know. That was back when you had to like order gaming magazines. to get the cheat codes.
Check
And
your
the
Nintendo Power and see if it has
the free demo discs. I lived off of the free demo discs.
Me too.
Amazing.
I had those PS2 demo discs. Oh shit, I played a ton of them, man.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of which, did you ever play NFL Blitz? Sorry.
NFL Blitz is a good game.
No, I never. See, I wasn't really into sports video games heavy until
Okay.
NCAA football came
I
out.
see.
I never really got into Madden. Even playing in the NFL, I never got into Madden. To me, it was
You
like,
never
why the fuck am I
played
playing
as
this?
yourself?
Like, no, I have played. I don't know if
That was your chance, bro.
Yeah, no, I've
What's
We
I
need
think
an
I have. I'm not
NFT.
sure.
We need a Josh Martin Madden NFT, man.
Listen, there's some really cool ideas that I have for NFTs and sports, and I wouldn't be
Ooh.
surprised if there's someone making some stuff up right now.
Cool.
The different experiences. It's like, well, there's different ways to capture
Experiences.
elements
Let me hear it.
elements
Let
of the game.
I want to
so
hear him.
You capture a Rafi. Get out of the light. Come on, dog. My pup Rafi.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
He's my studio manager.
There you go. You may have seen my cat running around. She also manages my studio. If she decides that I shouldn't be talking anymore, she knocks my microphone over. You know.
Yeah, we can upload where
Rafi.
she literally
Yeah, so
recording
Rafi,
on
Rafi, if you're gonna be up here, at least say hi, dog.
Oh,
Hey!
hello.
Say hi, Rafi.
If you are listening to this in audio, you're making a mistake. You should be watching this on YouTube.
Very true.
So can you repeat your question? I forgot, Rafi.
No, yeah, you rolled into something that we actually touched on at the beginning of the podcast, and I said maybe we'd circle back to. Skylar, if I'm
the
hijacking your
NFT
question,
idea.
you can pause us and you can finish out your thing.
You know how I feel about NFTs, but it's fine. We can go. We can go.
I'm more interested in the thought experiment of let's put aside maybe the bullshit financial things that are going on right now. Maybe just kind of explore the realm of potentials that Josh has cooking in his head.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think if you look at NBA Top Shot, they're capturing like clips of games, like crazy moves or dunks, crossovers that players have. I think it would be really cool if you could own something similar, like
That's
you own a touchdown pass from a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the replay of it.
Yeah, well, you know how NFTs work. There's tons of digital copies, but there's only one owner.
Right.
So if you were to mint the game-winning interception of the Seahawks-Patriots game, when they didn't run the ball, I feel like that could go for a nice chunk of change. You own that moment in history, and the NFL gets auctions because NFL has the rights to that.
Yeah.
And when you look at players being able to monetize their brands, all right, well, maybe you own a football throw from Peyton Manning.
Right. No, I mean,
based on
how the market for NFTs has like evolved, it totally seems like that would be something people would be into.
Listen, my whole conversation with NFTs that I had last week was, if you're not asking yourself, or someone isn't asking you, you say what your plan is, and they say, you can do that, then you're not thinking big enough, man, because there's so much that you could capture in that space. And like I said, the space is for the creators right now, and it will be. That's the whole point of decentralization. You're moving the middleman, giving more power to the people. So I think the sky's the limit in terms of what you can create. You're really just limited by your imagination. So I think there's some cool opportunities there. I've thought about reaching out to some players and like, hey man, maybe we should, capture a GIF or, measure the velocity and trajectory of a football or Hail Mary throw, and you own, you can sell that. You can mint
Gosh,
it.
if you put a GIF out of you like slamming through a wall, I'll pay some shit for that. Okay. And that's not going to be on nothing, especially because one of the discussions we had with Skylar was like, unlike art in which if Picasso paints this painting, yes, if you're a art noob like me and a picture of it is the functionally equivalent from an entertainment value for you as the real thing, then this is lost on you. But if if you're an art connoisseur, if you will, you can tell, like you can see the brush strokes and whatever, and it's not equivalent to the print, right? Like it's not only did Picasso paint that one, that's sort of the scarcity element of it, right? That NFTs can create. But in this case, it's also the piece itself is unique. And so some NFTs are functionally just duplicates of what's already out there. It's just minted, like what we were talking about, and that. So it's the legitimate version on the blockchain. But I've seen some other versions. In fact, by the way, Skylar, just to we talked last time about this particular artist who we're a fan of, Will Waltz. One of his NFTs actually, when you purchase it, it does have like a higher resolution that you can't get anywhere else, right?
Yeah, this is something that I really want from NFTs. I want some sort, like, for me to see value in a digital like ownership, I would want some sort of like a unique aspect to the thing you're purchasing, right? Like, I don't want to just buy a GIF that is the same bytes as the GIF I could see on the internet. Like, I would want some.
Yeah, I think that's real, man.
Right?
I think especially, we're a little older. Sorry, excuse the pup. We're a little older, right? So like, it doesn't make sense to buy something that everyone has access to. What's the point of purchasing it if you can experience it in the same way everyone else can?
Exactly.
So I think a lot of artists are trying to do that, differentiating the experience of the actual owner.
I think that's really cool.
There's one person who actually, a lot of people, when you buy an NFT, you also maybe get a physical representation of the art, whether it's a pair of shoes or actual physical art. I think there's one dude who had like a vault where the art is located, and only the person who owns the NFT can visit it and see the art in person. So
that's
like
amazing.
It's limited by your imagination in terms of like what you can experience. So I think that's, not to get too NFT heavy, man. One of the questions that you guys didn't ask that I was really excited to answer was like my favorite gaming story.
Oh, well,
shit.
Let's hear it.
Well, I wasn't done. I wasn't done, Josh. Okay.
Okay.
So don't hate me yet. I wasn't done.
I mean, I just didn't want to log off. It's like, listen, this is a gaming podcast, right?
Let's hear it.
All right. So let me take you back.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, this goes back to the Halo Combat Evolved era of Halo on the original Xbox One.
Oh shit!
First generation. I actually didn't have the game for the longest amount of time. That was back when I was on my demo disc grind, and I was on my demo disc grind. I finally got Halo, and I have two younger brothers, so it was perfect. Halo. We had to save up to get controllers, though. We didn't always have enough controllers for all of us. But when we were able to do the co-op or the I don't forget what it's called, versus the split screen, I had to go against my brothers. I got a lot of practice. Became really good. Didn't have an Xbox Live account, so all my play was local. But one opportunity that I did have to play other people were like kids around the neighborhood. That was back when LAN parties were really big, right? Yeah. So we'd have the LAN parties, and I had a couple of homies that I would play with. Actually, this was like peak video game nerding out. Went to a LAN party. We had like 4 Xboxes. We had like tents and camped out, TVs, extension cords, the whole shebang back in the day. With some of my friends. So I got more practice in. I was confident in my Halo Combat Evolved abilities, particularly on the prisoner map. I'm sure you're familiar with
Yes.
So, and with that Halo Combat Evolved, the pistol, and the physics of the grenades were
the fucking nukes you could throw, bro.
Yes, they were too legit. So it got to the point where Prisoner was the only map that I would play, and I knew every square inch of this map. And you know what? I you can hate me if you want, but even on split screen, I'm a major screen looker.
Even talking about exploiting the rules.
Yeah, it's like, listen, if I knew where you were in a map, even off my periphery, I'd know where you were. So it's like I wouldn't even have to try to look.
And then you just throw a grenade, like the lineup.
Throw a grenade. But even if I didn't know where you were, if I don't know if the sound was that good. They didn't have the headsets where you could hear footsteps and stuff. But if I saw you on the prisoner map, you were as good as dead. there was a point in time where we're doing 2 versus 2 split screen. My buddy, my good childhood friend,
that's fucking
Ronald,
Halo.
Yeah, Ronald. His name was Ronald McGee. He wasn't a big gamer. He wasn't enthused by games. It was me. We were playing against our friend Arthur. I forget Arthur's last name, and his little brother Ryan McGee. Arthur and Ryan are formidable opponents. Like, they're legit. We're playing in Prisoner. The entire time, Ronald is just throwing plasma grenades up in the air, trying to catch them on his face. So while he was actively trying to kill himself, I took on 1 versus 2, destroyed.
Oh, you
Absolutely.
destroyed?
No, I destroyed them, dude. I'm not trying to flex, but like that's my peak gaming days. I was
That's
like in middle
amazing.
school.
Man.
If I saw it, because that pistol, 3 shots to the head, you're done.
Yes.
Second,
You also had to lead your shots, right? You know, there was a little finesse there.
there was finesse. I had the finesse, man. I'm telling you. No scope, and prisoner wasn't too big, so you could no scope easily anywhere on the map.
Right.
With that pistol. And
Man,
it was
dude,
just like it was one of those things where it was like I was like a phantom, like walking through walls almost. Like, how is this guy doing this, man? How is he? And I that's my craziest gaming story. Like that's peak gaming for me, as good as it got. 1 versus 2 with my teammate actively trying to kill himself. They were killing him while he was killing himself, and I was just roaming the map with my pistol. I think we might have had infinite grenades on, and it was all she wrote. It was done.
That's amazing.
This
makes me want an Anthony,
the Phantom of Prisoner.
Anthony, Josh, Prisoner 1v1. I'm just saying. Next time Josh comes on the podcast, we're getting Anthony, Josh, Prisoner 1v1.
I would be crushed by Anthony.
Prisoner 1v1 for a KO Koala NFT.
I would be crushed. I would play for fun, but I wouldn't have the same expectations. That's my gaming glory days.
It's amazing.
Did you do any like lugging around some big CRTs, for the LAN party?
Yeah, I think honestly,
dude, we fucking broke one time. We had a Halo LAN party. Yeah, me and my bud had one, and I thought he said like it was one of those like you're going down the basement, with the fucking, what were we? That's 2001. We're 10.
Yeah.
I swear,
yeah,
I'm not even confident. Like, I'm not confident their parents knew we were moving it. Like we had it, and like I thought he had it, and we were close to the end, and fucking it was that like crack. Yeah, you lost the top corner screen. We would do 4-player split screen, and we just had a controller plugged in for nothing, just so that like the way the 3 would show up. Like
you had to know where to put it. Was it first player?
Amazing.
Yeah, it was the second player slot broken.
Yeah,
but
that's great.
No, yeah, we should play. We have, they came out with Master Chief Collection. They remastered all. They didn't remaster all of them, but Halo 1 and 2 they remastered. They brought them all. We've been playing with the guys from the Discord. We play Halo like every other day almost.
Yeah, man. Let me know. I don't have my video and stuff set up out there, but I could. I guess let me know. I don't know how to set that stuff up, man. I don't even have the new Xbox yet. You guys have the new Xbox yet? Or you guys play?
Well, Anthony bought one and then he gave it away.
Yeah, we did give one away. We gave an Xbox away.
Would you give it away?
Let's figure it out.
Shit,
dude, if I had one, man, I like that. You've heard. You might have heard of like the inventory issues with like both consoles.
I mean, you can't get any of them. I'm saying, would you give it away again or keep it for yourself?
I don't know what to do. Because there's this question of what should I do the investment in? We've had this conversation before on the podcast. Like Skylar's big PC gaming guy, right? He's got a fucking monster PC. It's badass as fuck. It runs everything at like, better than real life quality.
I get 500 FPS in Valorant now, dude.
500?
500.
What does that look like?
I mean, it's the same, right? Actually, like once you get over like 144, 165 FPS, it's almost impossible to tell the difference anyway. Like it's basically invisible to the human eye. But not to get technical, but all that matters is that the servers process data at a specific speed. So as long as your FPS is over the tick rate that the servers are processing the data, you're good. You're good, as good as you can be, which is like 144. So it's very unnecessary, but it's cool. It's a high number. You're like, look how high my FPS number is.
Impressive. Yeah.
For me though, personally, just for what it's worth, slight thing here on the FPS, I swear, man, I think, the way Josh Wright that works, a game, it's fucking crazy, but a game has, if you're running at 60 frames per second, 16.7 milliseconds to render a frame. That means like simulating where things are in the scene, if you will, every frame. And to do that 60 times a second, you only get 16.7 milliseconds to do all your fucking computation.
Processing all of the player input, processing everything that's happening in the game. And now if at 500 FPS, that's like less than a millisecond, right? Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say 120 frames per second is 8.35, right? Or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So, we keep dividing that by 2.
It's crazy. Computers are crazy.
Damn. I never even thought about that way. I just think, hey, man, is it HD? Is there lag? Like, right? Am I walking into a wall?
I mean, that's the thing I was going to say. I personally feel when I play something north of 60 frames per second, I know my eyes can't perceive it, but I think what I'm feeling is the more responsive element, right? Because, I mean, it's processing shit twice as fast as it was before. Yep. So somehow I'm perceiving that I'm like smoother. You know
what the biggest thing for me with the upgrade specs is like, how fast does it take to download a damn game, man?
There you go.
You know, I have because if I don't play for a few weeks, you know, I'm tossed on Call of Duty to play with my little bros. There's always some 20 gigabyte download, and it's like my Wi-Fi is fast. You know, to get the gigabit speed. I don't play with my Wi-Fi, man.
I was going to ask, what's your speed over there? You're in New York right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in New York. I get about 800 to 900 megabytes per second.
I have a friend who has gigabit, and whenever we both download the same game at the same time, I have like 300 megabyte or 400. And he's always done it. He's like, I'm in the tutorial, and I'm like, shit, I want to play.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I have this fast internet, but the systems don't download. And I'm not a PC gamer, obviously. With the Xbox, the systems can only download the games so fast.
Yeah, some of that downloading stuff is poorly optimized.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to figure out. That's my biggest thing.
We'll figure this out, Josh. We'll get it set up.
You know, 500 FPS. I'm not concerned about 500 FPS as much as can I just play sooner?
Yeah, no, I got it. Totally fair. Totally fair.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, so we got your favorite gaming memory. Were you going to say something else, Josh, though, before I interrupted?
No, man. You know, I was just a baller at Halo Combat Evolved. To give me a pistol and infinite plasmas and prisoner, game over, dude. All right, I would put that on most people.
That was good. I like this.
I
like this confidence.
I was very, you know, the thing is, like, now, no way. So I will put a disclaimer. I'm not gonna back that shit up now. I don't play enough. Like, the joystick sensitivity, like the controllers are different. The Xbox One controllers versus the Xbox controllers now are entirely different.
Oh yeah, but now, you got some fucking huge hands.
You know what I'm doing? I'm just like, whenever me and Anthony actually play, I'm just letting people. You know, I'm just.
Yeah,
if I don't win, it's just like, all right, you know.
I'm just saying, we'll come over there, bring the CRT TV, bring the original Xbox with the original, and then we'll get it easy.
You know, we have our third member of the studio lives in New York. He lives in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Oh shit, yeah, no, I'm down the street from Bed-Stuy.
Yeah,
oh shit, we were there a few years ago. Like, anyway, we'll fly out to meet Josh. We'll bring you some fucking CRTs. I mean, right now the airlines will probably let us bring whatever the fuck we want as long as we come. You know?
Probably so many empty seats
for a ticket for the TV.
Yeah,
and we'll come meet up Josh, and we'll have some. We gotta find some OG Xboxes. Those might be harder. You have one?
At my parents' house.
One too. My parents' house.
At my parents' house. Yeah.
It's always at your parents' house, right? Mine is too.
Of course. My GameCube, my original Xbox, all that shit's at my parents' house. Yeah.
I think Brittany just found the Xbox. You know what we were doing, dude? We were hunting for Pokemon cards. Oh, I should ask you. Did you get into the Pokemon stuff?
Yo, I had so many like first edition holographic. Like, I had the Charizards. I think I had a Venusaur, and my mom sold them at a garage sale. Like all my entire collection for like $20. This is like I showed my mom some of the prices that they were going at, and she was so disappointed.
Yeah. I went through my old cards, and none of them were actual first editions, like with the first edition marker on them. I thought I did, but they weren't. You have to have bought like the very first print run to have the real first edition shit. But
okay, then I
thought I was hype. I was like, I have so many fucking Pokemon cards. I look, nothing.
But they're still worth something though, just not as much.
Not enough where it's worth me like going through the effort of selling them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we've actually been flipping cards. Brittany's been flipping all kinds of shit. Actually, thanks to Gary Vee, some trash post. You know, his garage sale ones or whatever they're called. So she's made like a few $100 flipping the most random crap. It's just like kid toys that we're like, we should throw this shit away. Nobody plays with it. And it's like, let's flip it on eBay. And it's like, somebody's paying for this shit? Like, it's crazy, man.
Another man's trash, man.
Yeah. All right, I gotta ask you. This is my favorite question. If I know the answer to these two questions from anyone, I feel like I can understand like what kind of a person they are and whether I would like them.
Okay.
They're very easy questions. The questions are, what is your favorite food and what is your favorite animal?
My favorite food right now is definitely pizza.
Okay.
Shit, we have to ask him.
Oh yeah,
My
we'll ask you another follow-up question. But wait, any top favorite kind of pizza, or is it just any pizza?
Pepperoni.
Okay, just classic pepperoni.
Classic pepperoni.
Okay.
That's my go-to order almost every week.
All right.
And then favorite animal is tough, man. I love chocolate labs.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think favorite animal, man. It's tough because my college mascot was the Lions.
Okay.
But in terms of like badass animals, like what's my favorite? I think cheetahs are pretty. You know what? Leopard, dude. Leopards are fucking badass, man.
Cool, yeah. There's some really cool types of leopards.
They're vicious too, man. Just powerful, smart. Just apex predator.
Yeah.
I can fuck with the leopard. I wouldn't fuck with the leopard, but
No.
Nice.
That's good.
I got you.
That's a good
But
answer.
Skylar, can you trust him? Can you trust me? What did I tell you?
I
tell you.
I can't remember.
I probably told you like burgers and eagle, right?
Yeah, something awful probably. But
another animal that you might not get very often. I'm just giving you all my favorite animals.
I love it. I love animals. So.
I had guinea pigs growing up.
Yes.
So whenever I went to the zoo and I saw the capybara.
Yes, dude.
Oh.
I will tell you that I used to say my favorite animal was a chinchilla, actually, which is same family as capybaras.
Yeah,
so I'm on that. My favorite animal now is actually octopus, though. But
okay.
Yeah.
Do you like to eat octopus? Or
I
just
actually stopped eating octopus because I learned about like how smart they are and they're like one of the smartest animals that like exist, and it just was like I would be so hypocritical to like respect people's intelligence so much and then eat an octopus.
Since the octopus is smarter than me, I'm okay. You know, I'm like, I feel like I've conquered something. You know, like
there you go.
I cheated.
There you go. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know what you said, Anthony. Okay, anyway, here's the ultimate question that we've asked every guest we've had on any content we've made.
Okay,
so go for it, Anthony. This is Anthony's classic question.
I already know the answer, but
yeah,
make it spicy, Josh. Okay, make it spicy.
Get really mad about it.
If you could only choose one of these two food items, the other one ceases to exist, never exists. You never knew about it. You never can have it. Whatever. You go pizza or burgers.
Those are the two things that I eat.
Uh-oh. This is a hard one for Josh.
Oh, no. I eat a bacon cheeseburger and a slice and pizza every week almost, man. Wait, so I could never eat one ever again?
Right.
One is Thanos snapped out of existence, man.
Yeah.
But would I be able to have it before it happened?
No,
or would I not know?
In this case, pretend like you could have never experienced it.
Oh, I could have never experienced it. I wouldn't have known about it.
You wouldn't even know that it could exist. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in this kind of weird situation where you're like in a parallel universe where you know about both of them, and you have to make a decision for this other version of you that can only ever know about one of them.
Yeah. Would Josh Martin's life be better if only pizza existed or only burgers existed?
I have to. Damn,
it's a hard question.
That's tough, man. I want to say. I've eaten so many cheeseburgers over the years. I would probably. Is there a workaround for this? Can I break the rules?
You trying to screen look?
What if I? I'm trying to screen look right now. So can I? What defines or constitutes a burger and/or pizza?
Yeah. We're trying to get fancy.
Somebody pulled this on us. I don't remember who it was.
If you put like a bunch of sausage on a pizza and like some American cheese, right, and you put two slices on top of each other, we're getting close to a burger, right, Anthony?
I will argue you are not. But,
so like two buns. What if I did lettuce? That's sacrilege. I couldn't do that. But just hypothetically,
what, lettuce on pizza? What are we talking about?
No, lettuce like they do the lettuce buns. I can't say I haven't had.
Oh, you're like a lettuce wrap burger.
That's not a burger. That's a ground beef.
I would say
salad.
what is banned is basically like the hamburger patty. That concept, I think, is gone. You can still have sandwiches, right? That kind of stuff is fine. Even like a chicken sandwich that's like burger with buns, I think that's probably fine. Just like the hamburger patty, I would say, is what's gone, right, Anthony? That's pretty reasonable.
I'm spending a lot of time on hamburgers, so I think I'd probably have to get rid of the hamburger. I think because pizza is not a question in my
heart.
mind.
Skylar, I think is Pizza Gang, right? Or what'd you say? I don't remember.
can't remember
Wait, so it's.
But this is actually this is important. The audience needs to know because I often give the pizza people a ton of shit because in my opinion, pizza's like bullshit appetizer food that's like not even close to the realm of burger goodness. However, you have had probably some fucking awesome pizzas over there in New York because I had one pizza last time we went to New York that was like whoa, and it was just pepperoni. It wasn't like nothing special, you know.
You know what? Maybe I might switch my answer though, because burgers definitely have more going on. Potentially, because I only get pepperoni pizzas. Burgers, you can have all sorts of toppings. I mean, you can on pizza too.
You can't too, yeah.
You can't have a bunch of toppings on pizza because it changes your pizza experience. If you pick up your slice of pizza and all the toppings are falling off, it's too many toppings.
I got you.
In my opinion.
Josh is
I
a
don't know how
connoisseur
much
of pizza.
down, man. My personal beef is that I eat a fucking
No
half
pun
a
intended.
pizza.
Yeah.
I eat half a pizza and I am not even close to full, but I'm also feeling so like artery clogged that I'm like, I shouldn't eat more shit, you know? But like, so that's my problem is I have to down a lot of
Where do you order your pizzas from? It's like
It
Papa
depends.
John's, Domino's, Anthony's Pizza.
those
He
places.
actually owns that, but I don't know if you know that's his third job.
Anthony's Pizza. Yeah.
I know that's a Denver chain. That's a chain around Denver.
Anthony's Pizza,
Pizza in downtown Denver, the original shop is really good, man.
It is really good.
I gotta check it.
You know, they have, the pizza that I think I like the most, the pizza style I like the most is thin crust, and then, buy like 3 of them, like the one I just did.
Like
actually,
what size? Like large?
probably like medium.
You don't understand how much food Anthony eats. Anthony works out
I know, I'm like
hours every day and drinks like 1,000
My
milligrams of
workout
caffeine.
compared to Josh, you gotta go to Josh's page. Or Josh fucking like psycho, man.
Well, yeah,
Josh
Anthony
is-
eats so
Josh
much
is
food.
legit.
We go to this legit ass barbecue place.
Put some respect on your name, man. You're eating multiple pizzas. You're working your ass.
Yeah. We go to this barbecue
Tell him,
place
Coach.
near us where you order by the pound, right? And like their like meal is like half a pound of meat with like some sides, right? I see myself as someone who eats like more than average. I get like a pound, 1.2 pounds of meat, and so Anthony orders pays like $80, 3 pounds of meat, like saves like it, eats it over the course of like the next like 6 hours. He's just like,
Dude, it's so fucking good. It's so good.
Wait,
Yeah,
so this is a Mongolian barbecue spot?
no, just like
this is like
American
Texas
barbecue.
barbecue style, right?
Oh,
like smoked brisket, pulled pork.
Yo,
pork
you guys gotta go
belly.
down to Austin, man.
Yes, we
there's
do.
this.
Have you been to Franklin's?
I've never been to Franklin's. I always forget the name of the spot, man. It's just outside of Austin.
Rudy's?
Salt Lick Barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Salt Lick in Austin, man. All you can eat.
Oh
barbecue.
shit.
You would love that.
Anthony.
Forget 3 pounds, whatever you can fit. Dude.
Yeah, man. That's one thing about barbecue. I eat it, and man, for like the next 2 weeks, I'm like, I shouldn't do that again. Like,
Anthony
moderation
already
is
spends
key.
a lot of time on the toilet, but I'm sure that goes up exponentially.
It's fucking super.
Hey, man, as long as you're regular, you're good.
There
As
you
long
go.
as it comes out, man.
There you
you're
go.
good.
Fiber is such a fucking game changer, dude. And the orange xylem husk shit. Anybody who's listening who can't take a shit, you've got to try it out. They sell it at Target and King Supers. Changed my life.
What is
Changed
this?
my life. Everyone wants to know how I'm so
Metamucil
happy.
support the show.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
fucking they should, man. They should. They
Another
got a
key
nice-
to staying regular, man, is just water.
It's true. Drinking
Yeah,
enough
that's true.
water. Really.
If you drink a shit ton of water, you will poop. And if you don't, you should go to the doctor.
True.
That is my unprofessional, unlicensed medical advice.
I feel like
Take
we have to
it
have.
from an NFL.
We need one more question. We can't end on a poop conversation.
I don't give 2 fucks. We keep rolling. Our dev meeting's in like a fucking hour. You got a poop question, Skylar? Fire away.
I do not have any more poop. My dad is literally a poop doctor. You think I need to ask poop questions?
Wait, actually,
you got
sorry.
poop covered.
The stream is kind of saying we didn't really get a definitive burger pizza call there because you kind of
Damn, they're
waffled.
calling me out.
They're calling
The
you
stream
out.
chat,
Yo,
dude. We were gonna
yo,
move
I-
fast, but
Yo, okay.
he's going into the zone. He's gonna meditate on this for 30 seconds, and he's gonna give us his answer. Just visualize yourself in both universes.
I can't explain my attachment to pizza, but I can logically say between pizza and burger that a well-cooked burger ground beef patty, seasoned, marinated, right toppings, condiments. The bacon, all the flavors, they meld together. I'm Burger King.
Yes,
Burger Gang.
let's go.
Burger Gang.
And I eat a lot of burgers and pizzas.
All right, so you're probably one of the definitive answerers on this kind of question.
I'm Burger
Josh
King.
plays Halo. He chose Burger. He's like the fucking best person in the whole community, man.
Yeah, man, I'd have to go Burger King. I know. Damn, I've had a lot of good pizza too. Yeah. But burgers in terms of flavor, that leaves me
Josh,
satisfied.
Have you ever been to 5 Napkins on 5th Avenue? 5 Napkins
I've
burgers?
never been to 5 Napkins.
Oh, shit, dude. Oh, shit, man. You got to go. It's the best burger I've ever had at a restaurant.
5 Napkins, man. I'm there. I might have to. That might be a cheat meal this week.
All right, I got another restaurant in New York. I was actually thinking of a restaurant in New York to ask Josh about too at the same time. There's a pizza restaurant called Artichoke.
Artichoke is solid,
think?
Man. I'm not a fan.
Are you not a fan of artichokes? Is that
no? I'm not a fan of artichoke.
Then you probably wouldn't like it.
I think there's better pizza places. Artichoke is a chain now at this point. There's multiple locations, throughout the city.
Okay, I went like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not. If you come to New York, I have plenty of pizza spots, man.
All right,
I have a running list that I rotate through.
All right,
depending, how I'm feeling that week.
What's your favorite? Give the chat like 1 or 2 pizza places so they know where to go.
The pizza place that I've been frequenting most recently. Scar's Pizza, East Village.
Okay.
Partly because it's really fucking good pizza. 2, it's also black owned. So there aren't a lot of black owned pizza places in New York. That's the only one that I know of, to be honest. And it's fucking good pizza.
That's
great.
I've
had a lot of good pizzas. Lucali's in Brooklyn is really good. The owner, Lucali, in Brooklyn. It's near Brooklyn Heights. I don't know the exact location. Cobble Hill, maybe.
Huh.
But Lucali is really good. Mark Giacano, he's done some content with some of the cooler food blogs. Like the new age, like hip hop type stuff. Actually, we spoke. The first conversation that we recorded for Making America was at his restaurant, so I had a chance to make pizza with him, and it's amazing. It's delicious pizza.
That's cool.
So if you're in Brooklyn, Lucali. If you're in Manhattan, Scar's Pizza. I've been going to Scar's Pizza more often. But Lucali always has like a crazy wait. They have they're one of those restaurants. They have crazy hours. They can open whenever they want to, and they're always going to have a line.
Nice. That's sick. Yeah.
Sure.
Were you going to ask a food question, Anthony, or something?
Yeah, it's a food question.
Okay.
No, because what I'm thinking is that Josh, especially in your time in the NFL, you've surely done lots of traveling. Surely you've traveled
at least in the U.S. I'm assuming.
I have to know the best ever restaurant experience that you've ever had, and it can be whatever food, whatever place. I want to hear the best food experience you've ever had in a restaurant.
I feel like that's a loaded question because I've had a lot of good food, by my opinion and measure, and typically my best experiences are always usually the first experience of that food.
Sure. Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Best overall food dining experience that was really fun and cool. There was a sushi omakase that I had at Tsukiji. I think that's how you say it. Let me look it up real quick so I'm not butchering it.
I'm an omakase fiend, by the way, so I'm very excited for this story. Japanese food is by far my favorite food. So
Tsukiji fish market in Tokyo, Japan.
Oh shit! So it's legit as fuck.
I waited in line for hours, and when I like sushi, and I was obviously excited to try the sushi. When I say the sushi was so good, and just like the atmosphere of being at the fish market where they're like taking the fish out of the water practically, and then cutting them and putting them on your plate. It's tough to beat that experience. That was pretty. Another experience. Okay, so this tops the sushi experience.
Okay,
very similar. Rafi, come on, dog. He loves printing stuff out of my printer, man. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, he's printing
stuff. He taps his nose and prints out these freaking test documents all the time. Like he needs to see. I told you, my studio manager making sure all the levels
the
are
equipment
optimal. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Sorry about that. One of the best experiences that I had food wise, I'll say this is Rafi, please. We have enough ink, man.
You're not gonna for long.
Yeah. One of my probably my top food experiences that would beat sushi in Tokyo was in Italy. I was out in Italy because I was big on Italian tailored suits. We have to dress up depending on the team that you play for. You have to wear suits.
Interesting.
Like
when you go out in public?
Yeah, when we travel to away games.
I see.
We'd have to wear suits. So if you know anything about the NFL and 30 for 30 going broke, you know that there's kind of this culture of who can outdo who. And I never tried to outdo anyone as much as I just wanted to make sure I came correct so no one would say anything about the fit. You know what I mean? And suits, they're a great investment. I could wear all my suits for the rest of my life. That's a tangent. I was in Italy because I was excited to explore the clothing and things. But on the trip, my clother, his partner was like an old Italian grandpa type character. Had the Italian accent, very well to do in the kind of suit, mentions, buttons, linings, that type of business. So he sold the pieces of the suits. So he's very well connected in Italy. He was actually driving us around like the countryside in different spots, and we'd stop to have lunch or dinner. We stopped in this town in the middle of nowhere in Italy, and we had like this feast. And as part of this feast, we had this risotto that I tell you, it was so good. I would still be eating it to this day, hands down. Like
if they would have let you stay there,
like that, it was just delicious. It was fucking awesome, man. It was good ass risotto. That was probably the best food I've eaten in my life.
Wow.
And I have some great aunts. I'm from Texas. I have family in the South. I've had some good soul food too. But that risotto,
wow.
That risotto, man, it was orgasmic almost.
Life changing.
Life changing, man. You eat something and it's just like, damn, I have lived. That's it.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Skylar, you were going to say something, Skylar. I stepped on it with that food.
That was a way more exciting journey than what my question was. I don't even remember what my question was, so it's fine.
Because before we call it good, the community had some questions for you, Josh. Sure. And I definitely want to ask that. Go ahead.
There was one in Twitch chat that now that you're going to take community questions, I'll just say mine because it was inspired by Twitch chat, which is, what do you think about pineapple on pizza?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm a pepperoni purist typically, but I'm not anti-pineapple.
No. Okay.
I'm not anti. I like it. I don't think it's like lettuce on a burger or sacrilege. I don't think it's that. It's still a pizza with pineapple on it. Do I eat pineapple on pizza regularly? No. Is it my first choice of topping? Absolutely not.
But you wouldn't. But you wouldn't like kick someone out of your house for bringing a slice of pineapple pizza.
If it was for them to eat, no. I wouldn't kick anyone out if they ordered pineapple on their pizza. Like,
I got you.
I wouldn't think differently of them. They just be like, oh, it's kind of strange, but
yeah.
We're still friends at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. What do you got, Anthony?
Master Animus asks, do you play any musical instruments?
Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see. There's a trombone.
Oh, that's what that was. I didn't realize that was a trombone. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I grew up playing musical instruments, which probably wasn't really good for my teeth. I ended up having some Invisalign. Thanks, Dr. Nicolosi. She helped me out, straighten the pearly whites. I played alto sax. I played trombone. I played tuba.
Man. Oh shit!
I was a band geek.
Right on, Skylar. You play sax.
I play saxophone, piano, and violin. And
which sax, man? I played some alto
tenor.
Sax. Tenor, okay, dope, man. That's a sax man sax.
Yeah, exactly.
That puny alto soprano stuff. That's cool, man. Yeah, I love music. I see you have the guitars and things in the background, man. So I'm always a fan of people that create and express themselves.
I got djembe from Israel here.
Okay, dope.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Oh no way!
It was like $8 on Amazon, but
we can't hear you.
Oh,
we lost Skylar. We lost Skylar. Something unplugged. When Skylar gets it back, yes, he'll play this crazy ass thing. We need a new bramoala. Sax, tuba, and trombone. Master Animus asked the question. Yeah,
that's better.
Apparently my thing was wrapped around my shirt. This doesn't sound that good, but it's just I bought it for like $8. One day, someone was like, "You should get a bunch of musical instruments to play on the podcast to annoy Anthony," and I was like, "That's a good idea." So I bought like $40 worth of random crap on Amazon. But yeah, this thing's like, it's nice. It's got like, it's just C major, but it's sick.
Okay. That's music worthy. You can make some music on that for sure.
Exactly. Oh, and then I got the ultimate musical instrument, which if you like musical instruments, you want another musical instrument to put in your background, you gotta get one of these. This is an automaton.
What is that?
This is the small size.
Play
There's
it.
a big one
Play
that's
that
really
crazy
sick.
ass thing.
There's the big one's really cool. But yeah, so this it sounds like this.
Oh, interesting.
And then you can open the mouth to make it louder. And then you can change like the octaves.
Ah, okay. That's an automaton.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Guys,
the big
got all
ones are
kinds of
really
crazy
cool. They're
shit
like
over there.
the big ones are like this big, and they have like a big neck.
Okay.
They're sick.
That's funny.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Anyway,
Next question
musical
for Master
instruments.
Amos was, what's
Sorry,
your
I love
favorite
music.
Star Wars movie? Do you have one?
Can you repeat that? I
Favorite Star
apologize.
Wars movie.
What's your favorite
Oh.
Star Wars?
No, I don't have a favorite. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm not a big enough fan to
Have a favorite?
I mean, when I was growing up, episode 1, 2, and 3 were the big movies that came
Okay.
out. But I watched The Mandalorian when it comes out, and I'm a big fan of the Star Wars universe. I mean, I referred to it earlier, and we talked about some of the representations of diversity in media.
Right.
And Star Wars definitely played a huge role in that earlier on, which I think was a powerful thing. But no favorite Star Wars movies. I'm sorry.
Okay. On Instagram, Squid asked, you kind of answered this already, but he asked, what games do you have a fond memory of? You answered that one. I'm going to rephrase this part. What was your favorite era in gaming? You talked about like when you first grew up, you were playing the Super Nintendo. Then there was like the Xbox era. Did you have a preference over one of the two? Like, they both kind of special in their own way.
Yeah, they're definitely special in their own way. But in terms of the best era of gaming in my personal experience, it would have to be between Xbox and Xbox 360.
Those were good. Those are cool years where you still had this online gaming was coming on, but you still had a local. There was still a lot of like split screen stuff going on too.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't have like a video game purist deal. I think online gaming and all the competitions in esports is great for gaming. But I think there's something to your point, Anthony, there's something a little bit more intimate when you're in a room with someone that you're playing against. So that split screen was really, really fun.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Go ahead, Skylar.
I mean, like playing a competitive video game in the same room as someone is such a different experience than playing with them online, right? Like I've gone to a few tournaments for like Rocket League and some other games like that. And like those in-person tournament experiences are so different from doing it online. It's just
the energy, man. The energy.
Yeah. I went to are you familiar with Dota 2? Do you know that? The International? It's like a really big esports event. It has the highest single prize pool of any esports event at all. Like I think the prize pool last
like
international was like $35 million.
Shit.
The first place team got like 20 million or something, 18 million.
Damn.
Split between 5 people, like at 5 like 15 to 20 year olds or whatever.
Not bad.
Yeah. But anyway,
college.
we went there. I went with some friends there to watch. It was in Seattle. It was at like the Seattle the arena that they have there near the Space Needle and stuff.
Okay.
And it's just a crazy experience there. We were like literally in the crowd. It was the finals of the international. It was literally a Chinese team versus a US team, and tons of people from China literally fly out here for the international, like to go watch this tournament and cheer for the Chinese team.
Just to watch it.
Just to watch. Yeah, there's like a whole section of the arena, like a whole seating section that was where the Chinese people always sat, because that's where the Chinese like commentators were, so they always sat behind the Chinese commentators. And there was literally like it felt like being at like the Olympics or something, where like when the US team did something, like the US people would like get super hype, and when the Chinese team did something, the Chinese people would get like super hype. And it was just like an amazing experience that you would never get like just playing a game online.
Yeah, no, I think in person is everything. That's why there's something to be said about the in-game experience when you go to a football game versus a TV experience. They both have their benefits, right? Being able to watch the game from the comfort of your own space, but the environment, the atmosphere, the energy of the crowd, I think that's a major factor.
I'll tell you, I have like very
Go,
little
Trigger.
interest in sports, like at all. Like I don't watch TV sports almost ever unless I'm in a group that's watching them. But I will always like enjoy going to a game and experiencing it in person is always a fun experience for me, regardless of the sport. So there's clearly something really different.
You can see the hits and the cheerleaders, the stadium food, the halftime show, the game. You know, it's everything. It's an entirely different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would be, Josh, we've talked about before regarding maybe it's a more game design related topic, but we've talked about the notion of venues that while, humans have played games, since forever in some variation, right? And while games evolve and the technology in games evolve, the places where people play them often stay the same. And we talked about like there's different venues, if you will. There's the games that happen in the reading nook, where people read. That's kind of where like mobile gaming has started to shine. There's games that happen in the hearth, right? Like those couch co-op, Super Smash Brothers, Nintendo kind of games with the family. There's the workstation games, the dedicated, you're at your PC, like the Valorant kind of game.
500
right?
FPS at your PC, yeah.
And then there's also one that would be actually maybe one day interesting to talk with you about is the stadium venue. This is, or the Coliseum, I think is what this particular author talks about. The Coliseum venue, where it's a large spectacle. This is kind of like what Skylar's talking about here with the rise of like these big esports tournaments, but that's something it's harder to experience. There's a bigger, larger friction to point of entry, if you will, right? The cost, commute, blah blah blah. Like, so anyway, it'd be interesting to talk to you one day about it from that perspective, maybe.
Yeah, I know they're doing a lot of virtual reality technologies that kind of simulate that Coliseum type environment.
What do you think about this? I'm not trying to like make this too much longer. I know we've been on for a while, but what do you think about the current like COVID football scenario where like they're playing with like virtual crowds and like how do you? Maybe you can you've been in the real experience, right? So like, how do you think that would change how it like feels to play the game for like the player? Either playing in an empty stadium or with like virtual crowds, right?
There's a lot of factors, right? Just because one, you have COVID, right? People are testing positive before games and they're delaying games, and there's that factor. There's a real risk of traveling and playing against other teams. And then you have like the actual experience of playing the game itself and what the crowd and environment provides that you're not getting. I think the biggest one of the biggest revenue drivers or factors for football is TV. So as long as they can show the game on TV, that's a bad answer. Let me restart. I think that let me restart. As a player, playing in front of an empty stadium sucks.
Yeah.
Like that's I think of my experience in Kansas City when they set the record for the loudest stadium in the world. You can't replicate that in a stadium at 30% capacity. That energy is just like when the field itself is shaking and you have to scream into the person's ear for them to begin to understand what you're trying to say. You're like reading lips. It's like you're screaming. It's like, what's the call? It's like they're yelling at the top of their lungs. By the end of the game, you can't even speak because your voice is lost because you've been screaming the entire time. Not as like celebrating hip hip hurrah. It's like damn, like we have a job to do. Those are huge factors and experiences that you just can't get in COVID. And those are things that to me were most enjoyable about the game. I didn't play this last year.
Right.
I really haven't played in the last couple of years in a regular season game. But those are the things that I miss that I feel that are major factors. And when you think of like home game advantage,
right?
Like home field advantage, you don't get that in stadiums like Kansas City when you have less than half a crowd. It gets pretty loud still, but it's just not the same. So I think
when Tampa won the Super Bowl, I thought something was wrong with the broadcast because I was like, why is it like so quiet and stuff? And then I was like, oh yeah.
No one's there.
Yes.
which is wild. I think I
Oh,
definitely
man,
I watched the Super Bowl. I think it was not a good game, but it was I watched it. It was underwhelming. The whole season in terms of like fan experience, I would imagine, was pretty underwhelming.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man, can
listen,
you imagine what the I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I mean, they had a season, which this is something that's definitely took a lot for them to pull that off.
I was just thinking, man, to have the Super Bowl in Tampa win it, the Tampa owners were probably thinking like, fuck, can you imagine if like there wasn't COVID right now,
Right.
It would be
Yeah.
hype out
It
the
would be
fucking roof.
mayhem. It's in Florida, first of
Yeah,
all, so we
right.
all know what
Yeah.
Florida is.
Yeah.
It would be crazy. It wouldn't be safe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be there. No,
Yeah, no,
it'd
it's
be
true.
absolute
It's true.
mayhem. I've actually played for Tampa for a couple of weeks. It was the worst 2 weeks of my life.
Oh,
For
really?
a couple of
Not-
weeks.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. My third year, I was on 4 different teams. My third year,
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
4 different cities, which was nuts.
Oh.
And
The moving must have been hard. Yeah.
the moving, it's nice to be settled in one location. That's something that's important to me, and I didn't have that year. It was also earlier in my career, before I was more established as a player. But yeah, not to go into a long story, but yeah, it was there's a lot of things going on because I was bouncing around from team to team. I didn't know if I was going to be able to continue my career. I was at a hotel that had roaches, and I didn't know where I was going to sleep some
Oh my
nights
gosh.
because I'm trying to learn a new playbook. There's a lot of things, not because Tampa's a bad city. It was more of my experience.
I see.
I actually pulled a hamstring when I was down there, and that ended my career in Tampa. So, not to be too
But
like,
hey,
oh man, that
Hey,
sucks.
sounds like might have been a blessing in disguise on that
Oh,
one.
for sure, man. After Tampa, I was in Indy for a little bit, and then ended up landing back in New York, which is where I live today. So it's definitely a blessing in disguise, if anything. So
I want to ask you a personal little question on the front of like the Vayner Sports thing. What's like been the coolest thing in working with those guys? Like, are they cool actually, or
they're
do
super
they?
cool.
Okay,
Like that's the one thing about Gary. The dude is real. Real in the sense that he's the same person in front of the camera and behind the camera. I think his brother's the same. Like they have the same energy, the same people. They're authentic. They're genuine. They're extremely well connected. And that benefits the people who they represent and the people that they work with. That's why his brand is so valuable, not only for the information that he's able to disseminate, but the fact that it's from real lived experience, and he's actually a business person who's had a tremendous amount of success, and to have access to that on a different level than someone who casually follows him, or
yeah.
even a super fan. It's like I can text Gary and ask him, "Hey, man, I have an issue with this," and he'll find someone to help. Same thing with AJ. Which is really powerful, man. They're incredible people. It's one of the best decisions I made in my career. I do not hesitate to say that. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey so far, and we're still going.
I remember when when on the KO Koala account, I think my mom actually was like the one like, Josh is on Instagram too. And it's like, oh fuck. And so I followed you on there, and then it said, how it says like who you're followed by, and it's like Gary V. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was like Gary V, Vayner Sports, Vayner, whatever. And I was like, holy shit. I remember I messaged you. I said like, yo, it's cool that you're in the NFL, but the fact that you're fucking part of Vayner is way cooler. In my
Yeah, man. Because that stuff is for life. And they're really serious about that. It's like, at the end of the day, do I generate direct revenue from them or for them? No. Like they haven't negotiated a single contract.
No, that's cool.
They've definitely gotten me sponsorship deals, and they've been a tremendous resource for knowledge. And when you come on shows like this, and you're able to kind of spread the good word about the things that they're able to do, that definitely provides some sort of value. But those guys are real, man. They've been a heart to heart, man. They've been really, really good to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Our strategy in KO Koala, I mean, you see what we're doing. Normal in video game indie studios don't go about kind of building a relationship with their community and brand before the game comes out. Usually, like actually, you can probably attest to this. For the average person, if I asked you, what's the name of the developer of Call of Duty? I bet you couldn't tell me. You could maybe tell me Activision, who's the publisher, but that's not the developer. Like Infinity the people Ward. Who actually make the games. Do you know who? Do you have a guess of who makes those games?
I feel like I've seen like a Treyarch logo or something.
Okay. Well, good job. Treyarch does make. There's several studios that make it. Treyarch is one of them. The average person though, like they don't the developers are quite frankly the hired men who do the technical stuff and make the game, and then the publishers are over here, right? And I don't know, there's in December of 2019 when we started posting content, and it was right after my brother-in-law had kind of showed me all of Gary V's stuff, and like Inhale all his information and the books and shit. And I had been following a guy named Hex. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a Call of Duty esports org owner. He's actually buds with Gary V, but he's always been vlogging and shit and making content and whatever. And the brand of that org is largely carried off the content he's been making over the years. And so I always thought, like, why doesn't a game studio do that? Like, what if, because also the reality is of making a living in making games is super shitty business. Like, you put in a ton of time into development, you have the space is super competitive, saturated with good products, like good entertainment options. And now the games are getting updated so regularly, like the amount of time that you show up in a person's attention span as a game can be fleeting, right? Like whatever. So how can we're totally buying in the notion that this is a long game, and that we can increase our chances of survival if we build a relationship with our community, authentic. I like what you just said about Gary's, like, really cool. Like, I don't know, I get the vibe that he's authentic, but like, it's one thing to get the vibe, it's another thing to.
Yeah, he's the real deal, man. It's like, and there's nothing about him that's phony or fake, man. He's the real deal. And I think, to your point, your brand that you establish is going to be more valuable than any individual game that you create. At the end of the day,
that's sort of
that's what's going to be. That's what's going to be lasting, and that's what's going to have the largest impact. That's your highest touch point. It's a human connection that you don't get from a game necessarily playing as a character. You've seen the faces that are building the games and building the community, and that goes along further than being an actual developer, being anything in terms of your industry. Gary's a lot of different things. I'm a lot of different things. They're people invest in the people. They don't invest in the cool gaming experience, I feel like, in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, the gaming experience gets supplanted easily, gets replaced with something.
Yeah, it's fleeting, like you said. So I think what you guys are doing is incredible. I really appreciate you guys for having me on, man. This has been a lot of fun. I haven't had this much fun on any type of interview in a long time, man. So this
That's awesome.
Like, I can't remember the last time I had this much fun.
I got one more chat question for you. Can I give it to you?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat was doing their stat research, and they say that you have 2.5 sacks in your career, and they said they have to know if any of them are on Tom Brady.
No, they're not, man. Tom Brady's a hard dude to sack.
But that can't be because of him. That's the offensive line, right?
It's a combination. So, like, the scheme, like the depth that he drops at, not to get too technical, the types of running play.
How fast he gets it out.
Yeah, how fast he gets it out. What's the score of the game? If the game, he doesn't have to throw the ball, you can't sack him.
Right.
So all those are factors. I haven't sacked Tom Brady. Who have I sacked?
Do you know who you've sacked? Yeah,
maybe. Who's the quarterback for the Dolphins? I feel like I've sacked Jay Cutler before. I feel like maybe Tannehill I've sacked before.
Okay, Tannehill. Yeah, Tannehill was.
I feel like I might have sacked him before. Who else have I sacked?
Hell yeah!
I don't even remember. I have 2.5 sacks, and I can't remember who.
Is that as satisfying as it is when I play Madden? The position I always thought was coolest in football, which I think I would have sucked ass at realistically if I tried to be serious about it, was cornerback. Because it's like, if you're a shutdown corner, like I told you the whole Champ Bailey thing, but like if you're a shutdown corner and like the whole fucking team's like basically afraid of your side, that's so badass. It's like you
badass. One person can have that much influence on a game that isn't the quarterback.
And like, you don't fuck with that guy. And realistically, like, to maintain that reputation, the very few amount of times that they test it, you basically like have to capitalize on it.
You have to be
and make them
successful
pay.
every
You have
time.
to have a very high win percentage because you get limited opportunities.
Yeah, that shutdown corner like label is like so badass.
Literally put up or shut up. every
Yeah.
time they throw the ball your way.
Yep. So
yeah.
but so what I would do is I'd be cornerback when you do that, like the Madden build your career mode or whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
And there would be these plays where you could like request to blitz, right?
Okay.
So they would change the defense, like they'd go to zone defense or whatever if the corner was going to blitz. And getting it, dude, was like so satisfying when like you got it, because they fucking like got rid of it fast.
It's a huge risk to blitz at cornerback.
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah.
But man, even in the game, when you pulled it off, you were like, fuck yeah, man.
I can't. I imagine in person getting a sack is very satisfying.
Oh, yeah. And were they home? Like
actually, I think the last couple of times, no, they were away.
Why you want to hear like the stadium like sigh of
dude.
sadness?
Well, the sigh of sadness. No, but if you're at home, right, the sack and everyone fucking freaks the fuck out, right?
Yeah,
Did you ever have a play like that you were part of a play where like you guys, I don't know, fumble some shit, everyone freaked out? Like, what was the coolest moment that you ever had?
I think the coolest moment is actually one of my game balls behind me. We played the Kansas City Chiefs, which was my first team, and I was in the Jets, and we beat the Chiefs. They're easily a playoff team, I believe, that year. And it was my first year starting. This was 2017. It was the first year on my new contract. And I remember I had a really good game, but one of the plays that I remember the most, which, a lot of people might not have batted an eye at, was the kickoff coverage rep, where I was essentially running down the middle of the field, and the game was on the line because I knew that if we didn't make this play, they had a very explosive kickoff return unit because they have a great special teams unit. They always have. That's where I gained all my special teams ability. Their coach, Dave Taub, is he's a mastermind at special teams. So they've won games on kickoff returns at the end of the game by scoring touchdowns. And they had
who was the guy who used to return it? He was a fucking super fast dude.
Yeah, D'Anthony Thomas. Was that him?
Yes.
D'Anthony Thomas before Tyreek Hill. He was explosive at Oregon. I actually played with him and blocked for him when I was on Kansas City's team.
Oh, okay.
And that was the guy who was returning the ball. So I knew, I was like, all right, they have D'Anthony Thomas back there. I can't catch his ass. I'm not going to try. But so if he gets going, like, there's no chance. But he's a smaller guy, so he's easier to bring down if you can get a hand on him and you're a stronger guy.
Right.
So I had a really good rep where I know their scheme, so I know who's going to block me within the first 5 yards that I'm running. He doesn't know that I know that he's blocking me, but I essentially do kind of like a look away where I make it appear like the ball is running a certain way because I knew where the ball was going. So I do like a look away, basically influencing his block because his block is entirely reactionary based on me. It's a really hard play to make. I'm getting really technical, but it's a really hard play to make when you have 50 yards to cover and someone's running at you full speed and you have to get in front of them based off of where the ball carrier should be, but you don't really know exactly where he is.
He's behind you.
Yeah, he's behind you, so you can't see who you're blocking for, and it could end up in any number of places on the field, literally anywhere on the field. So I know this, and I use that to my advantage. Ended up beating the block. Didn't really even touch him. Just kind of gave him a little jab step. He was a younger guy, and I had a lot more experience. But ended up being me and D'Anthony Thomas in the middle of the field.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you know much about open field tackles, one-on-one solo open field tackles.
It sounds, from what I understand, is hard as fuck.
It's nearly impossible. It really is. If you're on a punt returners more specifically, if you're in the open field, you just try to stay in front of him and hope someone helps you. It's very difficult to make those types of plays. So I knew that I was going to have to take my shot, and I kind of knew where the ball was going to go, and I ended up being able to get D'Anthony Thomas down after tried to juke me. That's one of the most impressive plays in my career that I can remember.
That's really cool.
Right on.
I actually
one tackle with D'Anthony Thomas.
It's really interesting to hear you talk so technically about it because like I definitely don't have like this deep appreciation for football like I do for like some video games and like games I'm really.
The strategy is comparable, if not even more so, because the characters that you're playing at are actual people.
Right.
Not that there's obviously people controlling the characters in the games. But the coordination required between the people I think it reaches another level that you don't necessarily get in video games.
Yeah,
you have the 11v11, but in terms of like communication and coordination, playing squads. Like the largest team you're really playing with, really, I would imagine is 4, where you're that coordinated.
Or 5 in some modern
5 in
esports
some
is
games.
like the max. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got 11v11.
I feel like the stakes are different too, which changes the experience. Like, it's one thing, like, you're gonna get shot in the game. It's another thing that motherfucker's gonna blast your ass off, from the back.
I mean, listen, dude, like from the back. Listen, that's very real. That's a good point, man. Listen, like I said, I've had a number of injuries when someone's trying to take your head off.
Yeah. Can you imagine that shit? Fucking like 6'4", 260 pound, like professional athlete who trains, who spends, dozens of hours a week.
His job
training
is
on how
to,
to
like,
beat
murder
the fuck
you.
out of you.
Yeah.
Like holy shit. I remember we watched like one Broncos training camp, and I was like, I was blown away by how fast they close speeds. I was like, you're in a fucking room with one of those guys, and you're not
getting away, man.
Oh, you're screwed.
Yeah, especially with football, because it's all short distance speed.
Right.
It's high burst.
Yeah.
There's only a few minutes of gameplay per game where the ball is actually like being moved. It's a really impressive game, and I think you'd be impressed with the amount of strategy that goes into it, Skylar.
Even based on just your one recalling, it was really interesting to hear you talk so technically about the strategy. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate about it the most. Kind of the combination of the mental and physical, which I mentioned before, and that's what. When I look at other sports, even esports, you understand the amount of technicality and skills and development and training that goes into being one of the best in the world at something. And then when you're able to accomplish that on some level, like, you have a respect for people who are good at what they do, because you know what it took for you to do those things. And you kind of you can only imagine really what it would take for someone to be successful in their respective sport or industry.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's awesome. Okay, did we get all the questions? Did we get all the answers?
I got everything.
This is
a marathon.
Awesome,
Thanks for sticking in here, Josh. I really appreciate it.
Listen, man, I'm having a good time. It is Taco Tuesday, though.
Go get your taco.
Shit. Get out there, man.
I bid you adieu.
7:20
What's your taco of choice?
Time. Rafi's mad at me because he's late for dinner. But I think you'll understand.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for the content? You guys have to send me the clips and stuff. I'll be happy to post.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff to pull. So even if you want to share, I don't know if you have the raw files, I'll happily.
We'll rip this VOD down, and we will. Marcus, who's in chat, he helps us out on editing. He's going to be splitting this out into some content, like, micro content pieces that we find interesting. But what we can do, if you want, it's up to you. We can either give you some slices that we do, or you can we can give you the raw stuff too, and you can split it how you want to split it, and do whatever you want to do to it. Maybe both, whatever.
Yeah, let me know whatever you guys put together. And I'll take that. I'd love to have the raw stuff. Can never have too much content.
Sure.
There's a lot of good stuff in here too.
Yeah, man. I think there's some good stuff. So I'm happy. Let me know when you guys publish this. And like I said, man, I'm excited to be here. And we got to do this Halo thing. Next time.
They're asking this right now in the chat. Links, who's that British guy, the little British kid who's in the chat. Actually, he's not little. He's like 6'3". Anyway, he was huge. He's fucking 13, 6'3", British boy. He just got into Halo, and he's been like playing shit ton of Halo 3 with us on stream. And he was asking in chat, he's like, ask Josh to play with Halo with the boys. And I was like, okay.
I'll play some Halo. Listen, I probably won't live that long, but I'll play.
Anthony, I'm sure you'll get it back.
No. For real, we'll have
to check a room. I'm down. I'll take one for the team. I'm not concerned about bait him.
We'll sync up with you so that we can figure out your gaming situation. We gotta get you set up.
Yeah. I have the Xbox One X and I think the Xbox One X. When they updated it, I don't have the Series X. And I got to figure out I need a new desktop as it is. So I was talking to Anthony. My hope is that the new iMacs allow you to kind of use it as a monitor. I don't know if there's a way to work around, but we'll figure it out though. I'm going to get to Taco Tuesday. I appreciate you guys for your time. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch, man. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
For those who are listening later on audio, thank you for listening. You can find information on us at koalaentertainment.com. There's links to all our social media. Josh, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on all social media, Josh Martin 95.
All one word, right?
All one word, Josh Martin 95.
Simple.
And it's spelled how you think it's spelled.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
Right on. Thank you,
Enjoy
Josh.
your tacos.
Hey, catch you guys later. Have a good night.
Peace.
See you, man. We'll
Bye.
see you.